Table setter. You always like those guys at the top of the lineup.
We are underway at exactly 10 o'clock. When we want on game time, a game that are on time, we bring you in. We're late. We got Keith. Pitches outside.
These first few batters are important as well for both pitchers to see what the zone is going to be from the home plate umpire, Tim Wesley, it is, because that's really going to play a part in how they set up hitters.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, popped up right side. That's going to go out of play. Transylvania had every opportunity yesterday, and there were a couple of mistakes made in their game against Mount St. Joseph, and just unfortunately couldn't get it done at the end of the game. But this is really a good hitting team, especially at the top of their order. And they love to get Dillon and Shiratori on base and make things happen from there. As Manuel set to throw, and the pitch is outside.
At the same time, you got to love it, too, because Dillon is a freshman from Trinity High School in Louisville. So you know you've got him for a few years. And if he's already in the leadoff spot, that's a good table setter for the next few years for Transy.
Break-even pitch up high. We'll go to 3-2. Billman behind the plate. Wallace is at first. Gervin at second. DeHart at short. And Redmond at third with Knuckles, Deering, and Goalie in the outfield. Payoff pitch on the way, and he lost him. All right, you already said it. Leadoff walks.
Oh, yeah, those are – I got Coach Marshall's blood pressure is already rising.
That'll bring up Seda Shiratori at 323. No home runs, 23 runs driven in. He, too, has 13 stolen bases. Let's see if now Transy will get something going with Dillon down at first base.
Is Transy a small ball type of team? You want to get on the board quickly here? Let's see if they – try and bun him over with Shiratori.
Of course, then you got to be careful with your pitcher being a left-hander, too.
Yes. I mean, you can see Redmond, he's in on the, well, I don't want to say grass. He's in on the green turf of the infield.
We'll talk about some of those other great performances yesterday as that pitch is high. You look at that pitching performance last night by Southern of Anderson and the way he got off to such a bad start. That was kind of the talk of all of us here in the press box, and then he comes back, strikes out 17?
Yeah. That's a pretty good comeback right there.
Bunt, first base side, and it's going to be an infield hit. Nobody communicated there for Franklin.
That is a beautiful bunt, and quite honestly, I think if you're Coach Marshall, if you're let that go just to see if it goes foul. He's on base regardless.
Exactly.
So let's see maybe if it'll drift a little bit more and go foul instead of picking it up where he did, but now they're in a world of hurt here early.
That'll bring up Baxter Tedesco, who is at 338. Not a lot of power, only one home run. He has 25 runs driven in. Transy trying to score first. They show bunt, and that pitch way outside.
You can tell Coach Getzy early wants to get runs on the board. He's bunting with his 3-hole hitter in the first inning. And, Manuel's had a tough time high and outside so far.
1-0 pitch. Same location.
Maybe we'll see a pitching coach visit here soon.
Yeah, maybe sooner than normal. Again, with it being in the loser's bracket, you can't make a lot of mistakes. Bullpen already getting a little active, is it?
Looks like it is.
Outside, 3-0.
Oh, boy.
Maybe Manuel doesn't like 10 o'clock games.
Maybe he doesn't. But I love the patient at bat from Tedesco. Make him throw strikes. Again, another freshman.
Boy, big pitch right here from Manuel. And he misses again. 2 walks already here in the top of the first inning. Bases are loaded now for Henry Mitchum.
Oh, and he is licking his chops, the senior from Henry Clay in Lexington.
Now, the question is, O'Shawn, with Manuel struggling, throwing strikes, may take a couple of pitches here?
You're absolutely taking a couple of pitches, and you're sitting dead red. You're looking at one spot in the zone that's your happy place, and you're waiting for a fastball there to try and do some damage and drive in some runs early.
Pitch is outside. My producer said my name, and I was pretty sure I didn't say that word. And now we got a visit to the mound, 1-0. I've learned a long time ago to never use that word that begins with an A.
Yeah.
We can't say it even now, so. Yeah, give Sean a break. And when's the last time you were on the air with us? Was it a year ago?
Yeah, it has been. Well, I thought I did one football game.
Okay. Yeah, we needed a pre-production game because that's the number one rule.
Yeah, that is.
Boy,
I'm forgetful. I'm old. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm old and confused, so I'm a step ahead of you.
Is that better than being dazed and confused?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's number 3, which Keith is in that category, dazed and confused. Yeah.
Coach Marshall is definitely confused, trying to figure out why Manuel can't find his release point. He's just up and away with everything.
How much patience, though, as a coach? You got to walk out there and say, listen, you got to get the job done, but you also need to be, I don't know if the word sympathetic is correct, but you're like, come on, guys, let's go.
Right. Well, I think that's also a reason why Coach Marshall is slowly walking to the mound and back from the mound to just give him a chance to reset and refocus.
That's ripped into left field, base hit. It will score 2. So Mitchum drives in the first 2 runs, and guess what? The first walk comes back to score.
Yeah, Mitchum kind of had a plan, thinking he needs to throw a strike, especially after the mound visit. He sat dead red, got it, and shot it right through the 6.5 hole.
Here's Austin Taylor. Great start here for Transylvania. Will Manuel be able to come back here? And again, no outs here in the top of the first inning. He'll show a bunt, and there's the strike.
Wow, Getsy is really wanting to jump on early, trying to bunt with your 5-hole hitter to move 2 guys over.
The 0-1 pitch, bunted in the air and foul. We saw a lot of that yesterday. Players unable to get that ball down on the turf. It bounced up, and we actually had a couple where it popped out, so you got to be careful.
You know, it really is amazing in today's game, not knowing how to bunt, throwing as opposed to pitching. They want the heat, they want the strikeouts, all those kind of things.
The 0-2 to the right side. Second baseman Gervin able to get to it, throw to first, his only play. Runners advance now to second and third, and there's 1 away.
That was a great play and a huge play from Gervin to get to that ball and get the out.
So that'll bring up Chris Hettinger, 259, 6 home runs, 23 runs driven in.
Indiana kid from Jasper.
And they know how to play baseball down there.
A little bit, yeah.
As Manuel's first pitch low and inside.
Now here's where the strategy gets interesting in my mind, Troy. Are you pitching around him with the base open in order to try and get it up play, or are you looking to strike him out?
Breaking ball, that'll be a base hit. 1 will score, and they'll now have runners at first and third. The second walk came around to score as well, and it's now 3-0.
I guess that point's moot.
It does.
Already.
You know, when they're not just hitting the ball, they're hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, they're hitting rockets. And again, it goes back to the first few hitters when Manuel's not hitting the zone, and they know he has to throw strikes, so they're just waiting for that BP fastball to get over the plate, and they're not wasting their time.
Houston Manning at 329, no home runs and 16 runs driven in. Right now for Franklin, they're hoping for a ground ball and a double play to get him out of this disastrous first half. Bunted first base side, could be trouble. Coming in is Wallace. He lays on the tag, but a run will score. It's now 4-0. Hettinger down at second base, but a good bunt that time by Manning.
Good bunt, and you can see, I know I'm harping on this, but the strategy from Coach Getsy right now, we want to put as crooked a number on the board as we can. 1, to put more pressure on Franklin, but 2, to take some pressure off of Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Knowing now he can go out and just throw strikes.
Bryce Dreyer with a huge cut. Dreyer 175 and no home runs, 10 runs driven in. He is now the 8th hitter here in the top of the first inning. The pitch by Manuel on the way, and it misses low.
Franklin knows at this point when they get up to the plate, they're going to have to be aggressive, and that really sets up well for Gonzalez to know that they may go fishing when they don't necessarily want to try and get out of this hole.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Yesterday, Rose-Hulman beat Franklin 3-2. We mentioned Mount St. Joe over Transy 7-6. Manchester to rally with 4 runs in the bottom of the 10th to beat Mount St. Joseph. That pitch misses inside, and then late last night, Anderson scoring late, so they had to really fight to get by Rose-Hulman as well. The number 1 and 2 seeds had their problems. It was a 6-2 final.
Boy, the number 1 seed having to score 4 in the 10th, that's huge.
That pitch is low and outside.
Winning your first game is so big in a tournament like this.
Yeah.
Because it sets you up the rest of the way, whether it's this tournament, College World Series, you name it. Getting that first one out of the way is monster, especially for pitching purposes.
So here's the payoff pitch, and it'll be his 3rd walk, and we will go to the 9th hitter now. That'll bring up Colin McElfresh.
We thought we saw somebody warming up down in the bullpen, but it can't be too much longer before we start to see somebody starting to throw down there, and it looks like it might be it right now.
You might want to hurry.
Yeah.
Runners at first and second. Swung on and hit foul. One thing about baseball, it will teach you patience, won't it?
Oh, boy. And sometimes in the worst way.
Yes. People are like, why are you waiting so long?
Somebody milling around in the bullpen is Matthew Johnson for Franklin. He looks like he's stretching.
Boy, McElfresh knew he was just a little bit off on that pitch. First time we have seen in the first inning 9 hitters come to the plate, and he got him looking.
Ooh. He got a breaking ball.
Manuel got out of it with 4 runs across. We hit at the bottom of the first.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get him.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Your poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew.
Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh main lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles,
She's fine. She's fine.
Your waffles, milady.
it matters where you stay.
Yum.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Hey, we want to thank the folks at Hampton Inn and Suites here in Kokomo. Fantastic. Last night, chance to go and sleep in a nice, comfortable king-size bed, and you had that nice shower, and it was great. And then the breakfast. Oh, the breakfast. Enjoy a free hot breakfast, free standard Wi-Fi with every stay. If you're in the Kokomo area, I'll tell you what, I'd even drive up here if I were staying somewhere else and stay at the Hampton Inn and Suites. If you want to book a room today, give them a call, 765-205-3194. The only thing we missed is that Keith had a party last night in his room. We did not get an invite, but that's okay. He's going to have another one tonight.
Okay. That's good. Is it going to be for the Celtics game? Or are they playing tonight? No, the Pacers game.
I don't want to talk about the Celtics right now. Hey, talk about Giancarlo Gonzalez starting today for Transy.
2.22 ERA, 4-1 on the year. You know, and one of the things we talked about with Manuel is concern is more walks than strikeouts. Well, that's a different story for Gonzalez. 27 strikeouts, only 8 walks.
We had a chance to see him over in Terre Haute last weekend, and he pitched extremely well. And the left-hander opens up with a strike. Josh Gervin, 333, no home runs, 26 runs driven in, one of the leaders in stolen bases with 43.
A transfer from Wabash Valley from Zionsville, Indiana.
That one foul tipped. And quickly 0-2.
So I would like to get your opinion on the Transy uniforms. I thought I heard you say that those were outstanding.
Oh, I love all black. You know me.
Yeah, that's you.
No balls and 2 strikes. The one thing I do like is those big numbers on the back.
Those are helpful. Yes, and in one color.
Yeah.
Not like a gray, dark gray.
Yeah, that wouldn't work, yeah. Like in basketball, when you see those numbers, they got dark red on dark blue or something like that. It's terrible.
Maroon on forest green.
Exactly. Pitch is inside as it gets away from the catcher, Dreyer. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, baseball, even in a uniform standpoint, when I watch the major leagues, sometimes I tune in. I have no idea who those teams are.
It's all about marketing, right?
It is. But when I see teams in kind of a mauve or, color like that, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not even close. Fouled away there by Gervin. But I'm a traditionalist. I think you kind of are as well. Mm-hmm. You are a uniform
junkie,
assessor.
Nerd,
yeah, you assess uniforms, and you like the simple stuff too, right?
I do. Franklin's are fantastic, and this is a great at bat by Gervin too, making Gonzalez throw a lot of pitches early.
Break-even pitch on the way, and it's going to be lined to the left field for a base hit.
That's the response you want from the top of your lineup after giving up 4 runs in the first.
It's going to bring up now Garrett DeHart. He was batting third yesterday. They moved him up to the number 2 hole. They moved Gervin from 2 to 1. I think they're hoping they can get Gervin out there and get to running, although down 4-0. We'll see if that's limited. Good look at the right-handed hitter right there. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss.
Yeah, I can't imagine you're going to see DeHart trying to square to bunt, as they need as many bodies on the base paths as possible.
Talk about the dimensions of the ballpark here in a moment. Runner takes off. The pitch is outside. The throw down to second, and the shortstop Shiratori can't hold on, so stolen base for Gervin now has 43.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
In a college season, it's not like, 43 in a major league season of 162 games is pretty good.
Yeah.
But 43 in a college season, that's outstanding.
So now DeHart, 1 ball and 1 strike. Franklin has a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the first inning. Gonzalez checking the runner at second and comes home with a pitch, and it'll be chopped foul. At this ballpark, 330 down the lines. It is 348 in left center, in dead center 400, 369 in right center. We only had 1 home run all day yesterday.
It looks like the flags are blowing in from kind of right center field.
Yeah, we had some strong winds early yesterday. Wreaked havoc on a couple of pop-ups. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging.
Big out there for Gonzalez.
Here is Dylan Redmond. Redmond, 293, 2 home runs, 29 runs driven in.
Junior from Columbus North in Columbus, Indiana.
So he's playing very close to home.
Yes.
Runner takes off. The throw down to third. Tag laid on, and he's safe. That was a pretty good throw, though, by Dreyer.
Yeah, that was a close play. Didn't get as good of a jump as he did on his first stolen base, but now you're looking, hopefully, pass ball, something. You want to put something on the board if you're Franklin to at least chip away.
Looks like he did get a hand in there on that replay. 1 ball, no strikes down to Redmond. Chance to get a run back right here as Gonzalez pitches, and that one is low.
A little chillier this morning, too, so it's going to be interesting to see how the ball travels in the air.
I asked what time kickoff was. I mean, gee whiz.
Yeah, that's true.
I could see my breath this morning.
Well, it is Indiana.
It is. Changes all the time. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Inside 3-0.
Honestly, I think if you're Getsy, you're not too concerned if he walks the batter here, because then that sets up a double play to get you out of the inning. So if you walk him, you walk him. I don't think it's a huge deal for Gonzalez.
Taking all the way. We'll go to 3-1. Andrew Wallace coming up next. Guy with power and certainly is an RBI type fellow with a 38 runs driven in. 3-1 pitch and another walk in the first inning. Saw plenty of that at the top of the first, and now we have one for Gonzalez, and here's Wallace.
I was surprised. I thought Gonzalez maybe would go with a breaking ball there to see if he could get him fishing and get a strikeout. But now you got lefty-lefty. Wallace is a stud, but that lefty-on-lefty matchup may help you a little bit.
All right, runners at first and third. Big half inning really early in the ball game here for Franklin. If they can get a run back, maybe two, and make it a 4-1, 4-2 ball game, but they don't want to walk out here without something. The pitch on the way, and a good breaking pitch, and Wallace taking all the way.
That nipped the corner. If we had the K zone, I'd like to take a replay of that one, but
well, you look at Redmond, he is not one of their stolen base threats. We talked about Gervin. Of course, he has 2 now in this one. That's 45 on the season. As he's standing down at third base, Redmond at first. Now the 0-1. Outside.
Yeah, I think the concern for Redmond at first is to try and keep him as close as possible if you get a ground ball. I don't think they're as concerned as much about him stealing as ensuring you can get that double play ball, not going to let them get a good secondary lead.
1-1 pitch is up high. Kind of watching the body language of Gonzalez. Seems to be a little bit frustrated here early as the catcher Dreyer will go out and talk to him. We saw yesterday, a lot of times I'm always curious how a player reacts to something that is bad.
Yeah.
And when you let the body language take over and you feel like you're not getting the job done, you can kind of tell that things are not going to go well.
Oh, it is a direct effect upon how you perform, really is. You look at those people who rise to the occasion is they hyper-focus when that moment comes. And so you can see it like it's almost like they're robots, right? Yeah. And so, but I think you're going to get that with 2 freshmen on the bump today in a win-or-go-home game. I mean, that's some serious pressure.
It certainly is. 2 balls and a 1 strike. 1 away here in the bottom of the first inning, and that pitch low and outside. Good job that time by Wallace to hold off. Now 3-1.
Now if you're Wallace, here again, you're looking to, lift and separate. So you're looking in a specific zone for a pitch you can drive to get 1 and maybe 2.
That one's ripped toward the second baseman. Mitchum makes the catch, throws to first, and they got the double play as Redmond got off the base too far, and a base running error takes Franklin out of the half inning. It's 4-0 Transy.
Every day when I walk into a classroom, I feel blessed and privileged to teach something I love, film.
I hope so. Hope it ranks up there for you.
My name is Jack Luger. I teach cinema and media arts at Anderson University.
Set design and just the whole aesthetic. Something pushes your main character out into an area.
As a former writer in Hollywood, I realize how important storytelling is, and I work to nurture that skill set in our cinema majors. Production aspects are important, but I really want our students to learn how to recognize and tell good stories. I try to practice what I preach. I've told my students many times that if they want to direct movies, the best way forward is to go out and make a movie. I don't ask them to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself, so I wrote and directed a project of my own.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first screening, really.
The film, titled Hellcat, premiered at the Heartland International Film Festival.
Ricky?
Zeus? What are you doing here?
New pitcher already.
Yep. Luke Harmon.
We are back here in Kokomo in the HCAC. Every rep, every play, and every moment matters, and it does here because Franklin has decided to go to their bullpen. So Manuel is out. Tell us about the new pitcher.
It is Luke Harmon. He is a 6-foot sophomore from Columbus, Indiana. And his number 7.07 ERA, 3-2, 14 appearances, got a couple of saves, 42 strikeouts, 20 walks on the season. Opponent's batting average is .318.
And you're probably not too surprised they made the change after that rough first half inning.
No, not at all, to be completely honest with you. And we're also looking at the fact that, Harmon's a sophomore. He's got another year of experience. But right now, you just need innings.
Yeah.
You need a guy, okay, come in, eat some innings. Try not to let much happen. Let our bats get back into it. Well, it's kind of a reset. But this is a huge spot for Harmon to come in and really boost his ball club with some scoreless innings.
How big was that last half inning? I mean, Franklin just running themselves out of a chance to get a run on the board.
Those are absolute killer plays. Those will send you to the loony bin if you're a coach.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball toward the third baseman, Redmond. Throw across the diamond, one away. Ethan Dillon walked and scored his last time up, so a quick out here in the second. That'll bring up Shiratori.
Already for Coach Marshall, you're breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. You had 2 pitches from Harmon, 2 strikes, a ground out, and you've already got 1 out and nobody on base. Okay. Now maybe the rest of the infield and the outfield are going, okay, he's going to throw strikes. Let's make plays.
Let's go and breathe now, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of people in blue and yellow that are holding their breath still.
1 ball, no strikes to Shiratori. Fouls that one away. We'll go even at 1-1. Coming up after this game at around 1:15, Mount St. Joseph and Rose-Hulman. That'll be the other losers bracket game, and then Manchester Anderson at 4:30. Slow roller right side. Wallace flips on to Harmon. 2 quick outs.
Just what the doctor ordered if you're the Grizzlies.
Here's Tedesco. A lot of folks don't like baseball. They think it's slow, but you got to think about the strategies of the game and all the ups and downs and all that can happen.
Yeah, I always call it an incredibly complex, simple game.
Right, yeah.
The simplicity is throwing, hitting, running, but the complex part of it is what we're seeing right here. Now you've got Harmon in who has not thrown a ball yet, where, Manuel struggled to find the zone, and you're like, how is it so difficult to throw strikes? Well, there's just so many factors in play.
Yeah. And it keeps you humble. That's one thing I've always known, and people talk about that. Baseball, you can be high one moment, and the next inning, guess what? You find yourself going, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. The saying, the baseball gods, if you will, in air quotes, right, will always humble you.
Pitch is low. Not saying it's not in other sports, but when you're around baseball players, and you and I both have been around them a long time, they are more fun-loving people than anybody I know, really.
Oh, 100%.
Pitch on the way, grounded back up the middle. Could be a tough play as DeHart and Gervin. The throw to first by Gervin, not in time. So Tedesco, a 2-out infield base hit. That'll bring up Henry Mitchum.
That was a good play by Gervin, but, man, the ball was hit so slowly. There was no shot. Well, it was closer than I expected, but Tedesco, good speed, got the infield knock, and you're okay with that because you're still throwing strikes.
4th hit by Transylvania. Here's Mitchum, who singled and scored one of those 4 runs in the first. Swings at a pitch inside and fouls it off.
And another thing, as well as you look at Harmon, you can tell from our vantage point, and hopefully you can on the broadcast too, like, his MPH isn't nearly what Manuels want, but there's so much to be said for location. Throwing the ball hard is great, but pitching is about locating.
Yeah. We talked about that yesterday, too. They demand so much. Nowadays, they want you to throw 95 miles an hour, but if you can't, then why not be a pitcher that can locate your pitches?
Well, I remember Blake saying yesterday on the mound, like, kids today would hate a Greg Maddux ball game.
Right.
We loved those growing up because it was just an absolute clinic.
Swing and a miss. Mitchum out here in the second, 4-0 Transy.
Whenever I tell somebody that I go to Berea College, it's automatically, oh, so do you make brooms? And I have the pleasure to say, yeah, I actually do. Although being a broom maker is a little bit of a niche experience and niche community, it's sort of world famous, at least Berea brooms. When I first saw the broom wall, it was definitely intimidating. Coming in there as a woman, I was scared that I wasn't strong enough, but thankfully I am strong enough. And throughout learning a specific broom, especially within our catalog, it can be really defeating when you try to execute something and it's not quite right. But when you finally get it, it's really rewarding. I think having the confidence to fail has been my biggest growth, and part of that is community, and part of that is having space, time, and materials to mess up.
Back here in Kokomo as we move to the bottom of inning number 2. It'll be Knuckles, Willman, and Billman.
Sounds like a law firm, Willman and Billman.
Yeah, the odd man out is Knuckles. 4-0.
He's just hoping not to get a pitch in on his knuckles.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, he's really crowding the plate. There's a strike.
That's the thing about college baseball that I notice more than anything. They stand so close to the dish. It's just unreal. And not many guys in the big leagues do.
Yeah. Why aren't they pitchers taking it back, though? That's the question.
Exactly.
Swing and a miss. Knuckles at 3-1, 5 home runs, 34 runs driven in.
Now, how does Gonzalez respond? You know, Harmon did a great job for Franklin there in the top of the inning.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, low and outside. By the way, in softball, they're already underway down in Transylvania, where I know Sean wanted to go this weekend.
It's probably warmer.
That's true. Earlham leading Manchester in the third, 2-0. That is a loser's bracket game. 1-2 pitch is low. By the way, the winner of this game and the winner of the second game today, they have to play tonight at 7:45. So they'll have to occupy their time for a few hours.
Get off your feet, get some rest.
2-2 pitch, got him looking.
Nice breaking ball there from Gonzalez. Just froze Knuckles.
Yeah, he had no idea that pitch was coming, and that'll bring up Luke Willman. Willman, 248, 3 home runs, and 20 runs driven in. Those left-handers, though, yeah, we talked about this in other broadcasts you and I have done. They're just so sneaky about stuff, aren't they? That's ripped into left field, base hit.
They're a different breed, that's for sure.
Yeah, they are.
But that's a great case on Gonzalez's part where he set him up.
Yeah.
Right? He set Knuckles up, and then when he came with that breaking ball, I mean, brain lock sets in because you're just sitting something else and you just can't react in time.
That'll bring up now Alex Billman. Billman at 255, no home runs and 15 runs driven in. Don't forget in the middle half of the 7th, which I know most of you are waiting with bated breath, the Hampton Inn and Suites trivia question. Did you hear all of them yesterday?
I heard one for sure.
Swing and a miss. Was it the Dodger one?
Uh-huh.
Wasn't that horrible?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I love Keith.
Yeah.
Let me
but his questions are way off. And we don't mind telling him either. Runner down at first base. Willman, one away. Franklin had a chance to score in the first inning, but a base running error cost them an opportunity. They had a runner at third.
I didn't catch all the broadcasts yesterday. Is this a new turf field up here in Kokomo? Okay.
It is. New lights, too.
Oh, nice.
It was beautiful last night. Pitch outside. Unfortunately, they won't have the Jackrabbits as we have a visit to the mound this season, but they're hoping to maybe bring another league in for next year.
Well, the umpire's going out there too, so to me that signals maybe possible injury.
Yeah, they were hurried out there pretty quick, didn't they?
And then they retreated very quickly.
I still think we talked about it before. We should be able to mic up all the coaches and see what they say.
I remember you talking about that. That would be interesting.
Now, Steve Sakasitz, who's the coach at Earlham, I think he welcomed it because the guy doesn't say anything bad.
Oh, he'd probably break out his Macho Man voice.
He and Keith both. So after a very brief meeting, the 1-1 pitch in there for a strike. So apparently Gonzalez is okay.
This is always interesting for me because Alex Billman is a former student of mine. And so trying to be partial, but you know the kid, and it's an interesting dynamic.
I bet you talk a lot of baseball, huh?
He sat in the back right by my desk, and we talk sports a lot.
There you go.
It didn't hurt that it was a sports marketing class, too.
That's true. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's grounded to the third baseman, Tedesco. He'll have to hurry. Strong throw to first to get the out.
I wonder if he thought that maybe went off his foot.
Yeah, he didn't get out of that box very quickly, did he?
No, he did not.
Here's goalie. Colin is 262 on the year, no home runs and 11 runs driven in. Another one of your students.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. And he played shortstop at Hamilton Southeastern. Billman played catcher, as he is tonight, but I was surprised to see him in right field, but he's a tall, strapping kid, Colin Goalie is.
He'll step in now with a runner at second base and 2 outs and takes a fastball for a called strike. It's always fun to watch kids that you coached or taught in doing good things.
Yes, 100%.
The stretch by Gonzalez and the pitch hit foul.
Keith Duck over there, I'm sure he probably did.
You know, he was disappointed yesterday he didn't get a single baseball. And he stood outside the stadium all afternoon.
And you see
much.
Keith diving for baseballs.
Yeah, exactly. So goalie back in. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Board had listed at 0-2, but it is 1-1. Here's the pitch on the way. Line toward the first baseman. Taylor snags it, steps on the bag. That'll do it for Franklin in the second. Transy leads it 4-0.
Hi, I'm Zach Likens.
I'm Ella Zaborowski.
And I'm Darius Spokey, and we're admissions counselors here at Bluffton University. And we're going to show you some of our favorite places on campus.
College Hall, this is where it all began in 1899. It's home to Ramsire Auditorium and the Learning Resource Center, one of 3 student success centers on campus. The other 2, the Writing Center and the Center of Career and Vocation, are right next door in the Musselman Library. Our success centers are a big reason why 98% of our graduates are employed in graduate school or completing long-term service within the first 6 months of graduation.
This is Centennial, where many of your classes will be held. Bluffton has an 11-to-1 student-faculty ratio, which means your class sizes will be small and you'll get to know your professors. Plus, Bluffton has more than 90 majors, minors, and programs to choose from.
Ready to have some fun? Let's check out Marbeck Center, home to the Commons, where you eat. Marbeck Desk, where you can check out equipment like hammocks and bikes, and Bob's Place, where you can hang out and where our voluntary chapels are held. Bluffton has more than 60 clubs, student groups, and intramural sports like tennis ball golf.
Right behind me is Emory Sears Athletic Complex. It holds Salzman Stadium, Memorial Field, and the softball diamond. Stadium lights are recently installed on Alumni Field so games can be played under the lights. You'll also be able to enjoy Beaver tailgating, Bluffton Olympics, and
Well, from first-year phenoms to senior standouts, the HCAC and their athletes rise together. Great to have you with us as we move to the third. It'll be Taylor, Hedinger, and Manning here in the top half of inning number 3 as Transy got off to a great start. And the pitch by Harmon is a called strike.
Boy, that was almost sweeperish. The way it kind of started out inside zone and then just drifted its way over the plate.
Fly ball right field. Goalie is there to make the catch, 1 away. That'll bring up Hedinger. If I'm not mistaken, is that the first fly ball we have seen today from Transy? And he had the walks and, well, actually a couple of infield base hits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's first one's gotten out of the infield, really.
Yeah, outside of the singles, that's it.
Yeah, the Hedinger base hit, I guess that is one that he had back in the first, and pitches outside. Had 3 hits in that first inning. Ended up getting 4 runs. It was just not a great start for Franklin, so they're trying to get back into this one before it's too late. Again, the loser of this game, the season is over. Low and inside, 3-0.
Just taking note, one thing that I love, there are so many college programs where the catcher will look over to the dugout to call pitches, but Coach Marshall trusts Billman to call the game unless they have, I don't know, what is it in the major leagues?
Those communication gadgets? Yeah, I don't think they do.
I wouldn't think so.
Boy, 3-2. I think they ought to ban those, go back the old-fashioned signs, because if you miss it, I mean, that's part of the game, right?
Oh, I loved it when the catchers would paint their fingernails like a highlighter color for night games so they could see them.
So Henniger on for the second time with the walk. That is the first walk given up by Harmon, and that'll bring up Houston Manning.
Did you ever see the MLB Network feature on Greg Maddux?
I did not.
So his catcher told him that Maddux called his own pitches, and he called his own pitches in the way he caught the ball back from Eddie Perez.
That's interesting.
Whether it was in front of his body or at his body, or he would wipe his nose, or like, he knew then, okay, that's the next pitch that he wanted.
That is incredible.
It's unreal.
Runner takes off, ground ball up the middle to Hart. Can't get the play at second, but a low throw dug out there by Wallace will get the out at first base. I can honestly tell you that I watched Maddux down in Cincinnati, and I have never seen anybody pitch like he did. I mean, just incredible. Smooth, calm, nothing bothered him, it seemed like.
I watched him playing Class A ball in Peoria, and I mean, you thought, this kid's, he's pretty good, but you never thought, like, it won't translate to the major leagues because he's not throwing, 95. But boy, oh boy, was I wrong.
Here is Bryce Dreher. He walked in the first inning, and the pitch in there for a called strike.
By the way, good move by Coach Getzy putting the runner in motion instead of the double play there, because that was an easy double play ground ball.
Yeah, exactly. We're in the top of inning number 3, 4-0 Transylvania, trying to add to that lead, and the pitch is outside. Troy Derogowski along with Sean Krull as we are in Kokomo, and what a beautiful day we have so far. Once it warms up, my feet will feel better too.
Maybe able to actually feel them.
Yeah, no kidding.
And the wind seems to have died down. The flags are kind of not in motion at all.
And we are all for that. It was kind of windy all day yesterday. Our camera guys were freezing to death. The 1-2 pitch. Got him. Nice way to come back for Harmon. We head to the bottom of the third, 4-0 Transy.
Let's hear from Aus, a senior biochemistry major from Syria. At Earlham, students can pursue applied minors like medical humanities to personalize their education and make unique connections between academics and personal interests. These programs also unlock opportunities for students to integrate international travel or co-curricular experiences into their core area of study. Tell us all about it, Aus. Take it away.
Habibi Alex, thanks for the intro. Hi everyone. Growing up, I moved around a lot. I attended 9 different schools across 5 countries. And because of this, diversity in education was important to me. And Earlham College, with this diverse student body and opportunities, did not disappoint. Earlham has many unique programs, like the Applied Minor programs. Through the Applied Minor programs, students get to personalize our education and make direct connections between academic interests and co-curricular activities. As a pre-med student, I have an applied minor in medical humanities, which integrates the study of ethics, history, and cultural aspects of medicine. This minor has been essential in shaping my understanding of healthcare from a comprehensive perspective. Through this program, I've been able to participate in various resources provided by the Center.
All these seats. Back here in Kokomo, Troy Narragowski, Sean Kroll, we head to the bottom of the third inning. It's Deering, Gervin, and DeHart all due up.
It's going to be a big inning for the Grizzlies because you're flipping the lineup over and you're getting a second look at Gonzalez. You really got to take advantage. And again, because Harmon's been fantastic for you on the mound, stopping the bleeding. You got to get some runs on the board.
Deering first plate appearance, a big cut and a miss. 262 on the year, no home runs and 11 runs driven in. Gonzalez has had 2 runners in scoring position. High chopper, Tedesco at third, the strong throw, and there's one away.
Boy, he's got a hose. Goodness.
That'll bring up Josh Gervin.
That was a laser from the other side of the diamond.
Gervin singled, stole a couple of bases, left stranded at third in the first inning. What a beautiful day. Once it warms up into the 60s, fans are going to love it here later this afternoon. The pitch by Gonzalez is low for a ball. Gervin now with 45 stolen bases.
Does he refer to himself in third person like Ricky Henderson does? Josh loves him some stolen bases.
We could ask him if they're still around after this game. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch by Gonzalez caught the outside corner.
My favorite Ricky Henderson story was somebody was trying to talk to him, stuff going on in Oakland about the guy, oh, there's the John 316 guy. He's like, John 316, Ricky don't care. Ricky hitting 331.
Oh, that is precious right there. That's funny.
That was Ricky. God rest his soul.
2-2 after the cut that time by Gervin. Can you imagine all the stories you could get over the years? Pitches outside.
That was close. Oh, yeah. The stories would be amazing.
I mean, they have to be amazing. You're spending 6 months a year out of your life traveling and being with the team and all kinds of stuff going on. Payout pitch on the way. Line toward the second baseman, Mitchum. Didn't have the hops on that one, so Gervin now 2 for 2.
He was close. How many pitches do you expect before you think he's going to break for second?
No more than 2.
What's the over-under on that one? Half a pitch?
Well, I'll tell you what, the catcher, Dreyer, better be ready. Dreyer's got a great arm. We watched him yesterday throw out a runner or two, and so just a matter, I guess it depends what pitch he's going to be able to handle. He doesn't get a really big lead, does he?
No. But this helps DeHart, too, because now you've got Gonzalez paying so much attention to Gervin. You may get a mistake and do some damage.
Yeah, DeHart struck out his first time. I always watch the base runners. He has the glove, the sliding glove.
The oven mitt.
Does that work? Do you know?
I have no idea.
The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. I've heard that from some players, they say it doesn't matter because if you get down there and your fingers are out, you're going to get them jammed up anyway. But I guess it would beat having somebody step on your hand with a cleat. So
true. I've also seen, head first slides are everything now.
Yeah.
But you see guys, they have the oven mitts on, but then they hurt their shoulder.
Yeah.
Trying to stay onto the base, but it's just personal preference, I guess.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, just outside, 2-1.
All the years I played, I never slid head first.
No?
Except going back into first base.
Really?
No.
been so long ago, I don't remember what I did. The runner takes off, pitches inside, throw down to second, not in time, and already Gervin 3 stolen bases.
And I think that's why the oven mitt has become so prevalent now with the head first slide, because you get the swim moves and trying to avoid the tag. You can see where the ball is coming and what you want to try and do to avoid the tag as opposed to going feet first.
Makes sense. See, that's why we brought you in here for the expert analysis. The 3-1 pitch, lost him. Here's Dylan Redmond.
I mean, yeah, my playing days have been so recent, you know. Okay, now they need their 3-hole guy to be a 3-hole guy.
Well, not before we visit to Gonzalez. There's nobody throwing in the bullpen right now for Transylvania. Had that short meeting a little bit ago, and they thought maybe he was shaken up, but he seemed to be fine. That meeting lasted just seconds.
I think this may be a case of how they want to set up Redmond. Not trying to, to be too. He's not a speed demon like Gervin is.
Yeah.
So you're trying to set him up to get that ground ball so you can turn it over and get back in the dugout with no damage.
Well, I'm sure that Gervin may have thoughts running through his mind. You know what? I stole third base in the first inning. May give it another shot here in the third.
That play was a lot closer.
It was.
The one at third.
Yeah.
Which seems surprising because most often you're able to get a bigger lead off of second than you are off of first.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. All right, meeting is over. Redmond walked in the first inning. Runners at first and second, one away here in this third inning. Franklin has not been able to put any momentum together so far. Gonzalez checks both runners. Here's the pitch on the way. Hard hit to Tedesco, steps on the base, crossed the diamond to first, double play. And just like that, Franklin out of the half inning. Transy leads it 4-0.
I'm Arvind Tapalia. I am Associate Professor of Physics at Franklin College. If you come to my class, you will see me suspending from a rope swing, singing physics songs in class, launching watermelons with giant catapults, lying on a bed of 5,000 nails, and getting struck by a sledgehammer. I teach all my classes at Franklin either using a flipped classroom approach or a project-based learning approach, or some combination of both, because I want my students to get excited about science, not just through lectures, but through hands-on interactive learning. And as a faculty, I feel really encouraged and supported by the college to step outside of the traditional teaching practices and explore and apply more engaging and experiential learning approaches. My enthusiasm sort of naturally translates into a more positive and engaging experience for my students. And I think teaching isn't just about delivery of content. I think it's more about creating an environment where both my students and I can grow together.
Welcome back to Kokomo. HCAC athletes don't just play the game, they elevate it. And we've seen a lot of players elevate in the two-day tournament so far. Here is Colin McElfresh, the number 9 hitter. Then it'll be Dylan and Shiratori as we play in the fourth inning. Again, this is a loser's bracket game. The loser is done. The winner will move on to play tonight, 7:45.
Harmon's done his job. He's kept guys off base and shut them down. It's just that Gonzalez has done a great job pitching himself out of trouble, which was the one thing that Manuel could not do in the first inning.
So no balls and a strike. McElfresh caught looking in the first. Ground ball deep to DeHart at short. The throw to first, good strong arm, one away.
He had to go deep in the hole for that one, so that was a nice throw.
So here's Dylan. Dylan walked and scored in the first, grounded out in the second. One away here in the top of the fourth inning. Harmon has done a great job when he came in the second, as that pitch is fouled away. Boy, and that's what you like. That'll gain a lot of confidence with your coach if you can come in and do your job. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball right field. Goalie close to the stands, and he will run out of room. That one actually went past the bullpen area.
We do see someone warming up down in the bullpen for Transylvania. That's Connor Arnold, a 6'4" senior from Lexington Lafayette.
So Gonzalez may be done for the day. Even with a 4-0 lead, here's the pitch by Harmon in there for a called strike. So Dylan caught looking.
And that could be a case of, hey, you got 3 good innings out of him. We got some pitches. All right. The way this is going, we may need his arm later again, so let's not spend let's not empty the tank right now.
Exactly. Shiratori singled and scored in the first, grounded out in the second inning. He'll take that pitch for a strike. The 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Are there any of the games you did yesterday, and are there any left-handed heavy lineups?
Not really.
Okay.
Nope. Check swing foul. We were during the break for the fans that are watching today with those 2 walks that came back to score for Transy in the first inning, and I look back at my scorebook from yesterday, and you talk about not only the walks but the hit batsmen. Those things, I mean, how many did I name off? At least double digits. They all came back and scored. The 0-2 is outside.
What I'm impressed with here, you think people are saying, oh, it's D3 baseball. Yeah, D3 baseball is getting kids from Japan.
Right.
You know, Shiratori came over and obviously played at IMG Academy, but the fact of the matter is, like, there are guys that make it to the show.
Oh, yeah.
From D3 baseball. So don't poo-poo it. This is, you know, we have harped on the walks and, you know, hit batsmen and things like that, but there are guys in here. We saw, who's the kid last year or 2 years ago from Transy that would hit over 400, was just unreal. Their leadoff guy.
Shortstop?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be ball 4. Well, if you think it's impossible, player from Richmond, if not wasn't from Richmond, to be played low minor league baseball. And guess what? He ended up with the Red Sox because he ended up going to camps, and the next thing you know, he ended up with Boston. I was amazed. And in fact, I covered his games for a couple of years and just hung with it. There's a wild pitch. Shiratori down to second base.
Well, you look at a guy like Ben Zobrist. He played at Eureka College, which is NAIA, and on a whim with his graduation money, he's like, I'm just going to take one shot at a tryout.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
With Tampa Bay.
There you go.
And he's got 2 World Series rings and, you know.
Breaking pitch called strike.
Forever a hero in Chicago.
There you go. And what does it hurt to try, right?
Exactly. You're at the, I mean, these kids are at their age. Fight for your dream.
Yeah. Put a lot of time into it. Off the end of the bat
yes.
foul.
Yeah, I'm sure their parents appreciate that.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, do you remember all that money we spent sending you to camps and
travel ball? Yeah. Yeah. Make them take the uniform off of you.
Yeah. The stretch by Harmon. And the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and a pitch that was way outside. 2 strikeouts for Harmon in the inning. The threat is done. We head to the bottom of the 4th, 4-0.
I'm Glenn A. Meinhardt from the biology department, and I have been working with students on trying to find this really rare insect called Merope tuber, the forceps fly. So we've been on the hunt for this mysterious weird bug that we don't know much about. Finding the insects has been really tough. A couple of years ago we found a bunch of them at around the same time of the year. It was a county record. It had never been found here before.
What we're thinking right now is that they reside underground, and so it's a lot more difficult for us to catch them. We've been using these, they're called malaise traps. It's like a bunch of mesh nets that are set up that will intercept the insects in their flight path, and then they'll crawl up into a tube of ethanol, which we'll then collect and look through.
And without having the specimens, we can't really answer any of our questions that we have. So what causes them to emerge from the ground? Where are they even living? The immature stages have never been found. Nobody knows how males and females mate. We don't know what they eat. And so this big question mark of a species is what we've been focusing on. So it's been challenging, it's been fun, and the students have been, I think, experiencing both parts of those emotions, frustration and happiness and joy when we do find them. But in the meantime, we've been working on other projects in the lab as well.
Back here in Kokomo, brand new pitcher now for Transylvania.
Connor Arnold, he's 5.67 ERA, 3-0 on the year. Started 8 games in 10 appearances, 37 strikeouts, 15 walks, and opponents are hitting .287.
Wallace steps in, and the first pitch low and outside for a ball.
And going back to Gonzalez, that was only his 5th start of the year, so you got to give him credit for getting through the first 3 without giving up any runs.
There's a called strike. Wallace, Knuckles, and Willman here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 1-1 pitch took something off that one. Count moves to 1-2. The 1-2 pitch on the way, and it's fouled off. I was looking up the player statistics. Morgan Burkhardt talking about back in the early 2000s, and again, very, very, very low 1A baseball, and the next thing you know, he's in Boston and Kansas City. Didn't have a long career, but still hit .248 with 5 home runs and 23 RBI, and those are a lot more than I got for sure. So he is now the hitting instructor for the Padres. Ground ball foul.
Well, you look, guy just elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame, Billy Wagner, played at Ferrum College, which is D3.
Where is Ferrum?
And that's a great question. I don't know. Joe Nathan, he went to Stony Brook when Stony Brook was D3.
1-2 pitch, low and outside. Well, it just shows you if you can get a break here or there, you never know who's watching.
Yeah, that is 100% true.
Break-even pitch on the way is hit hard and into right field for a base hit. Good start here in the bottom of the 4th inning. That'll bring up Ian Knuckles.
You got the meat of your lineup coming up now. New pitcher, okay? You know, there's the whole thing of 3rd time through the order that everyone talks about, right? This is about this is the 2nd time for this part of the order, but you still, like, these middle innings here are huge for Transylvania.
Ground ball, 3rd baseman Tedesco gets one there at Mitchum. He'll turn to first, and the double play.
And just like that.
They're kind of waiting down at second base. Wallace wasn't leaving yet. He thought maybe he was safe, but a great double play by Tedesco. 5-4-3, twin killing and 2 away.
I know you're trying to make things happen, but with a new pitcher, maybe you might want to take a couple of pitches. I don't know. There's always that slippery slope of being aggressive or different things like that.
Yeah, I guess as a hitter myself, I always wanted to see at least one. But a lot of guys feel, again, that first pitch might be the best one I'm going to see, and if he gives you a good fastball, why not? After a brief discussion with the field umpire, time is called. Willman singled in the 2nd inning. So far, no breaks today for the Grizzlies. That one's lined into left field, base hit. Willman 2 for 2.
Man, how large does that ground ball loom now?
Here is Alex Billman. He's 0 for 1 today as we play here in the bottom of inning number 4. Loser goes home. The winner moves on to tonight. A scheduled 7:45, and of course they'll play the winner of the Mount St. Joseph Rose-Hulman game that is scheduled today for 1:15. Arnold, who did pitch yesterday, fastball down the middle for a strike.
Yeah, these are the tournaments you don't want to be in the mode of 2 and Q, like they call it. It's just, you play 2 games and you go eat some barbecue because you're not playing anymore.
The 0-1 low. You know, you and I, not to beat a dead horse, but you and I didn't get that steak dinner on Wednesday like everybody else did. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Well, you know.
We're going to continue to gripe about that. Here's the 1-1 pitch. High in the air left field. Hettinger going back on it, and he'll reach up and make the catch. Billman gave it a long ride, but a final out here in the bottom of the 4th. Transy on top, 4-0.
Delaney Kelly, I'm a sophomore. I'm from Newburgh, Indiana. I'm a double major in marketing and sports management with a minor in sports communication, and I'm a part of the women's soccer team here in Manchester.
My name's Kenneth Red. I'm a junior. I'm a business management major, minor in coaching. I also run track.
Samaritan's Feet is a nonprofit organization.
Helps send shoes to kids around the world. Delaney and I partnered to help bring shoes to kids in North Manchester area.
Samaritan's Feet started to kind of do NIL deals for student athletes, as that's kind of become a bigger thing in college sports. Asking for money is never easy. Like, we've seen that just both being business majors and taking sales classes, trying to explain this to 85 different people. You sound like you're repeating yourself, but in reality, like, it's good for us in a way because we're figuring out how to make it more of like an impactful way to explain it. So we're kind of trying to find other ways to go around raising donations. And some of the events that we've kind of planned to do is a give back night with Keyhole Pizzeria, which is in downtown North Manchester.
It was very welcoming and accepted us in. And they actually showed us a jar that they got going on where they actually give back to homeless already. So when we came in with the idea of 2 college students coming in trying to give back to North Manchester, they was excited about the idea. So we got that going. Then we also have a cornhole tournament that we're trying to put in works. Our biggest goal is we would like to at least be able to get a $25 donation, but at the least end of it, we wouldn't mind just to share. Any little thing helps. It don't got to be the full 25. It can be whatever you can afford. We'd be greatly appreciative.
A donation of $25 gets a pair of shoes, a hope bag, and then also a handwritten letter from me and Kenny. I think the reason that I was the most passionate about joining Samaritan's Feet and doing an NIL guild.
Welcome back to Kokomo. Scholar athletes with a competitive edge. That's the HCAC difference. Welcome to a beautiful day. We move to the 5th inning. Mitchum, Taylor, Hettinger all due up now for Transylvania. I want to thank the entire staff. We have a bevy of SIDs helping. That one's hit into left field. That's going to be at least one as the batter heading to second. Mitchum will slide in with a double. Good start for Mitchum.
First extra base hit of the day.
So Taylor will step to the plate. Austin 0 for 2, as mentioning all the SIDs that are here helping to run the tournament, doing the stats, the live stats. You can go to, of course, in this game, the Transylvania or Franklin websites and just go to the schedule and click on the live stats. You can follow along there and see how your favorite player is doing today. I mentioned Taylor 0 for 2. He is showing bunt and bunts it, almost caught there by Billman. Great effort by the catcher. Ooh. We talked about it a little bit yesterday about what it takes to put on a tournament like this. And first off, you have a beautiful facility here in Kokomo. And the people of Kokomo doing a great job welcoming everybody here. Pitch is low. It's a long 3, possibly 4 days, but when it's all said and done, it's a great thing to be a part of.
It is. It's fantastic.
No balls, 2 strikes here to Taylor. Mitchum, the lead down at second base, and the pitch hit to the right side. Gervin's only play will be at first. Does advance the runner to third, and that's exactly what he needed to do.
Good as a bunt. And I was looking up the national D3 rankings, and Transy's played 3 schools that are in the D3 rankings. University of Chicago, who they beat in 10. Wisconsin Oshkosh, who they lost to twice. And then Center College, who they lost to as well. But still, I mean, these schools are playing those big-time schools. And to think that they're, again, all bunched together in terms of the seeding here in this tournament, that's a sign of a strong conference.
No doubt about it.
Infield playing in.
The 0-1 lifted foul. Well, I think it's fun. You go back, I think it's been the last 2 to 3 years where it's come down to the last weekend and everybody's jockeying for position and trying to perhaps get that number 1 seed, and it came down to the last day this year. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Got him looking.
That was Sherwin-Williams right there.
Here's Houston Manning.
I would have to explain to my wife that meant he painted. What does that mean? It means like the black part of the paint.
Well, one day we'll do a whole glossary of terms.
There we go.
You can go through each one.
Can we include duck snort in it?
Yes,
because I know that's Keith's favorite.
It is. 1-0 now to Manning, who is 0 for 2. Mitchum down at third, and of course a big strikeout for Harmon to get Hettinger. Breaking pitch in there for a strike.
Boy, if Harmon can get out of this without any damage from the leadoff double, that's got to give you a shot in the arm, you would think, if you're Franklin.
Yeah, they have not had a whole lot to cheer about today as this pitch inside.
I mean, both squads have 5 hits. It's just, again, we harping on it as we have it, those walks in the first inning.
2 balls and 1 strike. Ground ball toward the shortstop DeHart as he takes it on the bounce. The throw to first, and the third base runner Mitchum means nothing now. We head to the bottom half of the 5th, 4-0.
Over the past few days, as I have reflected on the extraordinary life of Pope Francis, I have been touched by the profound value he placed on education. He stated that education is, quote, one of the most effective ways of making our world and history more human, close quote. Indeed, he believed that education plays a critical role in promoting human value and dignity, personal growth, and cultivating relationships with others. I certainly share in this fundamental belief that education has a profound and positive impact on individuals and on our greater world. And I could not be prouder to continue to pursue my life's vocation here at the Mount with each of you. Indeed, we've had a remarkable academic year here at the Mount, marked by many achievements. The Mount's total enrollment is up more than 5% this academic year from last year, a testament to the remarkable work of our faculty and staff. The Mount continues to be a national leader in reading science and ranks first in Ohio for our undergraduate education degree. Our health sciences students achieved 100% pass rates.
We're back here in Kokomo. Update from the softball tournament. Earlham and Manchester tied at 2 as they play in the bottom of the 6th inning. Goalie Deering and Gervin due up now for Franklin. Arnold back in for another inning of work, and he opens up with a strike.
Something's got to break here soon for Franklin. As you start to get desperate, you start to do things that aren't normal tendencies, especially at the dish or different things like that, where you got to tell your kids, you can't hit a 6-run homer. So
yeah, start pushing a little bit, huh?
Yep. But that's the nature of athletes.
Yep. Check swing foul. So the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Goalie grounded out back in the 2nd inning. 1-2 pitch just outside. Outfield straightaway. Not a whole lot of shifting anytime so far that we've seen in this tournament. Lifted high in the air, left center field. Henninger coming over. The center fielder, Dillon, will beat him to the spot and make the catch, out number 1.
You know, they were playing pretty shallow, all things considered, but the ball's not carrying. The wind has picked up a little bit. It's been kind of off and on, but the ball by Billman's really the only one that's really kind of had a charge put into it today, and it still didn't even make it to the track.
We have not seen, we had the 1 home run. We just have not seen a lot of balls hit that deep in this tournament. Deering is 0 for 1 today, and he'll take that pitch low and inside. Each team with 5 hits. That one's hit foul.
Was waiting for a ding. Guess it didn't get a car.
Nope. Arnold set to throw after getting the sign from Dreyer, and the pitch in there for a called strike. We'll go to 0-2.
Both guys that have come in relief, Arnold and Harmon, have done a great job throwing strikes and letting their defense behind them make plays.
0-2 pitch. That'll be tapped out in front of the plate. It's going to be a fair ball. Home plate umpire. Now they're going to say foul ball. They did check with the third base umpire. It did hit Deering. But that, you know, that's a sign of a good umpire, too. Listen, I'm going to tell you what, we're going to ask. He may have seen something from an angle that's a lot different than mine. Now, Transylvania may not agree.
I mean, that's a tough play for the home plate umpire to see because he's got 2 guys in front of him.
Here is where we would love to hear what they're saying. No, we're going to have a meeting, all 4. Here you go. Transylvania head coach may have said, why don't you all get together and see if we can get a consensus here.
United Nations coming together.
There you go. Second time we have seen this in this tournament so far.
The standard is if it's in front of the bag, it's the home plate umpire's call. But again, he's blocked by 2 guys, and they try as best as they can. But it's always good to get help.
Yep. Yeah, think about it. You're watching the pitch come in, the swing. You're trying to see where everybody's located. That is not easy. Foul ball. Well, that's not going to set well. You're never going to win. I mean, somebody's always going to be upset.
Always.
Now you look back on it. We'll see if this makes any difference in the end of the game, and nobody will remember it 10 years from now.
No.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Deering back in. The pitch on the way is low.
Well, the coach probably will because coaches just have memories like that.
Hey, do you remember on May the whatever the day is?
11/18.
That's right. I will never forget that. The 2-2 pitch, way outside. Deering is the number 9 hitter. The payoff pitch on the way got him swinging, so it didn't matter anyway.
It did not.
That'll bring up Josh Gerben at the top of the order. 2 for 2 today, 3 stolen bases. He has 46 stolen bases on the season. I'm not sure, but I could have sworn that that was kind of a sarcastic cheer there from the Transylvania fans.
No.
Here's the pitch on the way in there for a strike. Isn't it funny? You've been around this game long enough, you kind of know what the cheer is all about, right?
Yeah, you do.
Breaking pitch inside.
And everybody's an umpire.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Everybody's an umpire and everybody's a coach.
The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Might have been foul tipped. Yeah, when I'm officiating, and again, they say you don't really hear everything, but you hear everything when it's quiet, I'll tell you that. Somebody's calling you a bum. The 1-2 pitch. He'll stay alive as that one is fouled off.
I think that one got a piece of Dreyer. The one time I went to Tropicana Field, you could hear everything, that's for sure, because it was cavernous, it echoed, and nobody was there.
You and a few friends?
Yeah, a couple. There were tens of people there.
Tens of people. The 1-2 is high.
That's a good thought with that off-speed pitch, just couldn't locate it.
It's like watching a White Sox game. Anybody at those games after last year? Gee whiz. Here's the 2-2. Low and outside.
I don't think they can give away tickets.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the 5th. Arnold with the payoff. That's going to be ripped into left field. That's going to fall in as Hedinger makes the diving attempt. And a 2-out single for Gervin. He's now 3 for 3 as the ball gets loose in the infield. And that'll bring up Garrett DeHart.
Well, Gervin's done his job. He's been on base 3 times, but can't seem to get anything else rolling. He's got half their hits.
Yeah, he's probably looking at the back of the order with 2, 3, and 4. Can you guys maybe drive me in once here?
Right. Yeah, DeHart's 0 for 1 with the walk. Redmond's 0 for 2.
That one's hit well down the line, but curving foul.
Wallace 0 for 2. Knuckles 0 for 2. Once you get to Willman, down to Willman, he's got 2 knocks, but the 4 guys behind Gervin haven't done anything.
And that's certainly where you need some production as the runner takes off. Pitch in there for a strike. Throw down to second. Tag laid on. Not in time. That's the 4th stolen base by Gervin. He is up to 47.
That was a closer play, I feel like, than most of them.
Gervin may be thinking 50 before the end of the day. No balls, 2 strikes. All this happening now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-2.
Just a touch high. I feel like Wesley's been very consistent behind the plate today.
Throw to second and not in time.
That was close. Maybe had him leaning a little bit.
Well, you know, you always talk about it, and when you're officiating or umpiring, it's a game of angles. And my angles certainly could be a lot different from yours. And also, when I'm closer to the plate, don't you think I might be able to see it better? That argument never works with the coaches.
No, yeah. I mean, that's what they teach them in umpiring school is how to position yourself.
Up the middle, Shiratori makes the nice play. Then the 1 hop to first gets the out. And Josh Gervin left at second base as Franklin comes up empty. They trail it 4-0.
A lot of times when you come to Rose, students will say the work is hard. And it is.
There's rumors about the difficulties of Rose Holman. I would say they're on par for the most part.
But 9 times out of 10, at the end, the student's going to end with that statement, but it's worth it, or I really enjoy it. And I think that's really the key part. Like, if you really like doing something, it's going to be a lot of work.
So the commonality is just the love for science and math. Mathematics is really the basis of all science and engineering. It's the language that we use.
We need to make sure that they have that backbone in order to succeed as future scientists and engineers.
We collaborate as faculty, and they see how one class starts to impact another class.
Math, science, technology. how intertwined that they are.
Our students are very driven in everything that they're doing.
Is that opportunity to be pushed, because we do push the student to see what it is that you're actually capable of. We're not just saying, here, go do this hard project. We are right there with them. I think that matters.
Our job is to create a safe place to fail. That would be terrifying if you did that alone.
That results in students that are ready to walk out of the door and into their place of work, ready to be a productive contributor.
So our professors all know us by name.
It was refreshing to know that I would have a relationship with my professors.
Taking a look at the left fielder, Knuckles, as he is waiting for the hitter, Dreyer, to step to the plate here in the top of inning number 6. It's Dreyer, McElfresh, and Dillon. 4-0 ball game. The first pitch is a breaking ball in there for a called strike. These easy athletes don't just play the game, they elevate it. We've seen a lot of good baseball so far in this tournament as that will be fouled away.
A lot of good pitching. Yeah. I mean, look at today. Outside of the top of the first. Nothing but zeros.
Pitch in there for a called strike. And Dreyer caught looking. He has struck out twice. One away, and that'll bring up McElfresh.
I mean, the scores yesterday, 3-6, 6-5, 6-2. Not a ton of scoring.
No. Another breaking pitch just missing inside.
Are those bats on their uniform? Or upside down bats? Or is it like...
I did not catch that.
Drippy blood, like a Halloween type thing. They're the bats.
But they're the Pioneers.
On a bat.
Yeah.
Because they're Pioneers.
Yes.
That makes sense.
There's a strike. Two balls and a strike to McElfresh.
I'm trying to find the
fly ball, right center field. Deering on the run will make the catch. 2 away. You're trying to find the.
I'm trying to find the correlation between Pioneers and bats.
Maybe it's like Alabama and the Crimson Tide, and they got an elephant.
Well,
does that make any sense?
Well,
here's Dillon.
Groups of elephants are tied, if I'm not mistaken.
Fly ball, right side. Goalie will watch that one go out of play. See, I learned something every day. I didn't know the group of elephants was a tide.
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that.
Okay. But let's stay.
I only married into Crimson Tide family,
okay,
so
I hear you.
Like I guess the bats, Transylvania, because obviously, right?
Yeah.
But then, according to our producer, the Pioneers is because it's one of the oldest schools east of the Mississippi, west of the Mississippi, west of the Alleghenies. Okay.
Ball.
It's a beautiful campus.
Is it?
Oh
yeah, I've been
campus.
there. Yeah, I'm saying, what am I thinking? I've been there. I don't like to think about a 3-hour drive, though. That's why I kind of forget about it. So. The 0-2 pitch.
I mean, shoot, for you, it'd probably only be a 5-hour bike ride, wouldn't it?
I almost thought about riding up here on my bike. You can get a body like this sitting around doing nothing, for sure. Boy, a swing and a miss. Good inning for Harmon. Strikes out 2. We head to the bottom half of inning number 6. 4-0.
Every year, the Econ Senior Seminar class does a project of community outreach, and we kind of have full authority over which group we want to work with for the semester. We wanted to stay local, and we looked at a couple options, and we settled on Town Branch because it's very close to Transy and it's going to affect Transy students.
I think the downtown partnerships are very nice because students should be able to see that they're part of a life, and I think when you can literally from the steps of the school see a place or be able to walk to it, it just seems different. And you're oftentimes, I've seen over a decade of doing this, students feel more empowered to work with a group.
So Town Branch Park is a nonprofit organization that's bringing that green space back to downtown Lexington.
which is something very new and refreshing that I think the community could frankly use. I think this project's unique is because how cooperative Town Branch Park was, and Town Branch Park did a very good job of being invested in our project and giving us everything we needed to be successful.
I think working in a professional setting.
Day 2 of the HCAC baseball tournament. We move to the bottom of inning number 6. Redmond will lead things off. 0 for 1 with a walk. Arnold back in for another inning of work. Gonzalez worked 3. This will be the 3rd inning now for the right-hander Arnold. And his fastball is a called strike. The 0-1 pitch, grounded foul, and quickly no balls, 2 strikes.
I stand corrected. The name Crimson Tide came from a 1907 game against Auburn, where the team's red jerseys were covered in red mud, and a sports writer said they looked like a crimson tide rolling onto the field.
That pitch, riding inside, will hit Redmond. Well, who says you can't learn, huh?
Yeah. I guess rolling in, maybe that's where the elephant came from. I don't know. It's not a Cal College, so it's all good.
Here is Andrew Wallace, singled in the 4th. First hit batter by Arnold.
We get some pretty good rivalries here in the HCAC.
Oh, yeah.
Hanover Franklin's a great one. Rose-Hulman, Mount St. Joseph in football has definitely been a good one, too.
Well, think how many years they've been playing.
Yeah.
Pitch inside, nearly hits him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Franklin has had base runners in every inning. Lifted high in the air. Dillon going back on it. Now will make the catch. 1 away. Well, that ball is just not going to carry right now.
Yeah, it's dying because you can see it looked like it had a pretty good charge into it, but Dillon really didn't move at all.
Yeah.
Just kind of camped under it.
Here's Ian Knuckles. Knuckles is 0 for 2, hit into a 5-4-3 double play in the 4th inning. Very short lead by Redmond down at first base, and the fastball is outside.
Got some stretching going on in the Transy bullpen. A little bit in the Franklin bullpen as well.
1-0 pitch, called strike.
And Knuckles could use some redemption here. He's struck out looking and hit into a double play.
Yeah, been a tough day.
Yeah.
And you look at it, you had 1, 2, 3. You've had 4 in scoring position. Gervin has done his work, but just can't seem to squeeze across a run. 1-1 pitch, hit well. That's going to be trouble. In deep in the corner. Heading to third is Redmond, and a double by Knuckles.
Redmond lost his balance just a touch coming around second, but I don't think that would have made a difference. I think he would have been held anyway by Coach Marshall, but that was a nice knock there because I was actually just looking. Franklin had 6 hits, and 5 of them are from Gervin and Willman. But now you got Willman coming up, who's 2 for 2 with 2 guys in scoring position. You can cut this in half real quick.
Well, as you'd mentioned, Willman with a couple of base hits. Chance here for Franklin to get on the board. Pitches inside.
Corners playing in. Well, third baseman's even with the bag.
Dreher and Taylor out to talk to Arnold. Gave up a couple of base hits in the 4th inning, a single in the 5th. So that is the first extra base hit. You know, we have one of our listeners who is very astute and knows the game well.
I think she's the baseball brains of the family, I think.
Talking about how great it is to watch the game, and one guy has taken the time off again, still getting paid somehow. Ground ball hard to Tedesco, and they have the runner, Redmond, in a rundown at third, and he's going to be out of the baseline, but they got the tag on anyway. Excellent job, but a base running error by Redmond, and that's the second time they've committed a base running error.
I think it's the second time for Redmond, is it not? No.
I think they got that's a good question. I have to look back and try to decipher all of this, because I don't remember if it was Gervin or if it was Redmond. That's going to bring up now Billman.
5-2, 5-1 for those scoring at home.
So 2 away and a big cut by Billman.
What compounds that error is the fact that Willman couldn't find his way to second base during that rundown.
Exactly. Billman 0 for 2. Runner takes off, and that one's fouled to the screen. No matter what you may believe, little things are making a big difference here for Franklin. Because that could be a huge momentum killer.
Mm-hmm. Because maybe the infield plays different with runners on second and third and gives a hole for Billman to hit it through, where now it's just an easy ground ball that causes a force out.
0-2 pitch, runner takes off, popped him up right side, shallow right, McElfresh. Mitchum is there, and Mitchum reaching over the top of McElfresh and makes the catch in foul territory, and Franklin goes down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They trail it 4-0.
I really like coming into the studio at night. It can be really therapeutic just to come in on my own time, and I don't have any pressure on the things I make. I can just make it. To me, that's where the best work comes from. I was introduced to ceramics in high school, but at the time I was just hand building mugs. Before coming to Berea, I had never tried throwing on the wheel, but when I did, I fell in love with it. It was like almost addictive. My parents both immigrated from Morocco, so I'm a first-generation American. My parents did sacrifice a lot to make sure I was able to get the opportunities that they didn't necessarily have in Morocco. I see making tagines as a way for me to show my appreciation for my parents and also our Moroccan heritage. Tagines have always been a key part of our culture. I see it as a symbol of family and my connection to our tradition.
Welcome back to Kokomo. HCAC athletes turn determination into domination, and we have seen a lot of missed opportunities, though, for Franklin in this loser's bracket game as we move to the 7th. It's Shiratori, Tedesco, and Mitchum. You know, I was glad to see that Keith gave you a raise to come back and do this game. There's a called strike.
You know, he can take a hard line, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but 400's not bad for sitting there per game, right?
Jerry had to step in.
Yeah.
Mediate.
I agree. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, with my agent, you know.
Yeah, he's a pretty tough negotiator.
She. It's my wife.
You let her do the talking.
Yeah, always.
Chopper, DeHart, the backhand, the off-balance throw, not in time. So Shiratori with the infield base hit. That is his second hit. He's been on base 3 times. And here's Tedesco.
He's pretty quick. That was a tough play, though, for DeHart.
Tedesco a single back in the second. He's been on base twice and a run scored. We have not seen any scoring since that first inning.
Yeah, but hey, it's almost the middle of the 7th. You know what that means?
Oh, man, am I shivering right now. I got
Not just because it's cold?
No, I got a burning in my bosom right now because I'm anticipating the ever so fun Hampton Inn and Suites trivia question.
Is it just trivia in general, or is it
Who knows?
baseball trivia?
Who knows? He's been crossing the line going, well, so-and-so played this sport, but he played this sport over here, and he hit this. And nobody knows by the end of the question.
Okay.
So, yeah, Big D, Little D, when he said Dodger in his one question yesterday, we thought he meant L.A. Dodgers.
That's where my mind first went as well.
And so he's deceiving you, and then he comes around the corner.
King of deception,
Yes.
Keith Myers, I'm telling you.
Pitch is a little bit high. By the time he's done, I have no idea what the question was because I stopped listening.
Redmond was charging there expecting a bunt, and Tedesco didn't offer like he was going to bunt on that pitch. That's always a scary sight as a third baseman.
No kidding. Redmond charging in again, but no bunt shown this time, and the pitch a little bit outside, 3-0.
Squared then pulled back. Now he's got to be taken.
Well, Harmon has still done a really good job. He came in the second inning. And that pitch inside. Second walk to Tedesco, and that'll bring up Henry Mitchum. Mitchum, a single in the first, a run scored, struck out in the second, and doubled in the fifth.
2 RBIs on that first inning knock.
Bullpen now active for the Grizzlies.
I believe that was first pitch swinging, too.
Yeah.
Looks like Will Butts from Yorktown warming up in the Franklin bullpen.
Bunted, third base side. Redmond charging. He's going to have to hurry, and a bang play, but he gets the out at first base. Great play by Redmond.
That was a rifle, but great bunt, too. And if any kids are watching, hopefully you're in school and not watching, but great placement on that bunt. You want to bunt it to third base so that the third baseman has to play the bunt and can't get back to the bag to try and force out the runner.
They had a situation yesterday where a bunt down the third baseline, and then the shortstop forgot to go over and cover third, and the runner was able to advance to third base as that pitch is inside to Austin Taylor. Taylor 0 for 3, but a chance to drive in a run right here with one away. Harmon's pitch, called strike.
Big spot in the game. You know, Harmon's been fantastic. He'd only, before this inning, only given up 2 hits in his 5 innings of work.
Pitch low and inside. We'll go to 2 balls and a strike. The infield is in. We play here in the top of the 7th inning. This could be big both ways.
Yes.
The 2-1. This one poked into right field, coming on and not making the catch is goalie. He lost the baseball. 2 runs will score, and diving into second base is Austin Taylor, and it's 6-0. So close for goalie and right.
You know, we've seen a lot of balls, including that line drive where they doubled the runner off of Franklin. Both, they just kind of die out there in right field, and goalie made a diving play at it. It kicked up on him, and he thought it got past him, but it actually went in front of him, which allowed Taylor to get into second base, and that could be a death blow right there.
Here is Hediger. He has a base hit to his credit, drove in a run earlier in that 4-run first inning. and takes the pitch outside. Each team now with 7 hits, but as you said, those are 2 big runs. Taylor, the lead down at second base. Harmon's pitch. This one hit into center field. Deering on the run, and he will make the diving catch. Great catch by Deering as Taylor tags and heads to third. They'll appeal it as they thought maybe he had left early.
I'd love to see a replay on that one if we could. But so once he caught it, boy, I looked down, and Taylor seemed like he was so far off the bat.
Can you see the catch? Yeah, we couldn't see the base runner.
See it. Nope.
Here is Houston Manning. 0 for 3, but now a runner at third, 2 away, and the pitch is a called strike. It is amazing when you think about outfielders that can make that type of a catch. They're on the run, they're diving, and keeping their concentration as that'll be hit foul, and still able to make that catch, and crazy.
Yeah. And, you know, I just keep thinking about Harmon here. Like, hats off to him. I'm sure he's gassed after pitching 5. It's like he started the game.
Yeah.
And he's only given up 2 runs, maybe 3 hits. And, gosh, I mean, he put it out there for Franklin. They just couldn't. Then that goes back to what we're talking about, the crazy game of baseball. Both teams have 7 hits. But Transy has 6 runs and Franklin's got nothing.
Yeah, crazy.
That's how the game is.
Well, and you're right. Give Harmon a lot of credit. I mean, he's held them in the game and given that offense a chance, but they just haven't backed him up. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Manning. High chopper, third base side, but it'll be foul. Reminder again, our next game is scheduled for 1:15. It'll be Mount St. Joseph and Rose-Hulman. Ball hit up the middle, base hit. Taylor scores, 3 runs across, and it's now 7-0.
Boy, if there was ever a seeing eye base knock, that was it, because it wasn't hard off the bat. It looked like he kind of got it off the end of the bat, but just DeHart was shading towards third base, and it just worked its way through. And you can see the despair of Harmon as that ball worked its way through and another run comes in.
So that'll bring up Bryce Dreyer, 0 for 2 with a walk. Still 2 away here in the top half of inning number 7. Winner advances to tonight. Reminder, that game is scheduled for 7:45. Pitch in there for a strike. Remind me that I've got to let Keith come in and do that question so I don't go to a break. Because I'd hate to disappoint you. Swing and a miss.
Is that the second game of the night session tonight?
Yeah, that's game 2, the last one.
Okay, we got the 2 losers brackets games, then we have the winners bracket, and then
Yeah. 1-2 pitch, bunt laid down, third base side, but Harmon quickly off the mound, a strike to first, and that'll do it for Transy here in the 7th. But they pick up 3 more. Transylvania leads at 7-0. It is time for the Hampton Inn and Suites annual trivia question. It started, I think, a couple of years ago, and it's gone downhill ever since. But let's go ahead and give Keith a chance to redeem himself.
Our 3rd year.
Oh, 3
Just
years.
want to let you know.
Boy, it's been so much fun. The time has gone by so fast.
Thanks. Which 5 Major League franchises have never won a World Series?
Oh. All right. 5 have never won a World Series.
We'll take a break. We'll be back after this.
Yeah, I was going to say Seattle.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get 'em.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Your poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew.
Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh main lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles,
She's fine. She's fine.
Your waffles, milady.
it matters where you stay.
Yum.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Here we go. Which of the 5 Major League Baseball teams have not won a World Series?
Not so fast, my friend.
There is
is there
5.
Yes,
Yes,
there
there's
were
5.
6.
Well, he thought there was 6, but there's only 5.
Wait a minute, you said
name
6.
them. Just name them.
All right, go ahead, Sean. You want it? Oh, wait a minute. Seattle, San Diego, Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, and Colorado.
I'm going home.
All right. I'm pretty sure he said 6. That pitch outside.
Well, no, because I mistakenly put Washington, thinking they were 1, so then we thought there were 6, but then Washington won in 2019.
You see where the confusion comes in, don't you? There's a strike.
Yes.
I mean, it's always that way.
He had it right, though.
Yeah.
That was on me.
Well, that trivia question brought to you by Hampton Inn and Suites. Enjoy free hot breakfast and free standard Wi-Fi with every stay. We love it there. Book a room today, 765-205-3194.
Now, here's a better question. How many teams have never even made it to the World Series?
Oh, boy. That's interesting. Well, let's get our crack staff on that one.
Well, you start with those 5.
Well, we know San Diego has.
98, yep.
Tampa Bay's been there, right?
Yep, 2009.
Here's the 2-2
8
pitch.
against the Phillies.
Fly ball center field. Here is Dylan. There's one away.
Colorado played the Red Sox in 2007. Milwaukee 1982 against the St. Louis Cardinals, so that would mean
Seattle only 1, huh?
And Seattle has tied for the most wins in a season in Major League history and still didn't make it to the World Series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lou Piniella was their manager, right?
2001.
Here is Deering with 1 out. Well, Franklin's starting to run out of time here in this losers bracket game as they have a long way to go, down 7-0. Arnold's pitch is low for a ball.
That reminds me, if we need help, I got a trivia question for Game 2 based on what you just said with Lou Piniella.
Good. No, we need help. Here's the 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Deering grounded out in the 3rd. He struck out in the 5th. There's the strike.
You know, Arnold's been pretty good in relief as well.
Yeah, he has.
You know, Gonzalez was fantastic starting the game, but Arnold's been great too.
That pitch is low for ball 4.
And the good thing about that, if your coach Getzey, is now you've got guys kind of getting loose over there, but if you can use Arnold to get to the rest of this game, you've only used 2 bullets in this game. You've got more available for the nightcap.
Well, this guy has a hot bat right now. That's Josh Gervin, 3 for 3.
And hot legs,
And
too.
hot legs, yeah, 4 stolen bases. I think he told his teammates, I'm tired of running around the bases and not getting the last 90 feet in there. That's going to be lined in left field, base hit.
Didn't waste any time there.
No, he did not. 4 for 4 day for Gervin. He apparently is not ready for summer vacation.
He is not.
Here's Garrett DeHart. DeHart 0 for 2 with a walk. And now, and we have seen this movie before for Franklin in this game where they're getting runners in scoring position but have not been able to deliver.
Again, it just boggles your mind. Both teams have 8 hits. One team has 7 runs and one team has 0.
Arnold ready to throw, and the pitch is in there for a strike. Gervin will have a hard time stealing unless he can convince Deering to double steal with him.
That is true.
Doubt that's going to happen when you're down 7. But stranger things have happened in this game.
Understatement of the year.
No balls and 1 strike. Rolling outside. Mount St. Joe players here and getting a little sunshine down here to our left.
Seeing some people walk the path out behind the left field bleachers.
Ooh. That's hit well into left field. That'll be a base hit. Rounding third, heading to the plate will be Deering, and the runners advance on the throw. And Franklin finally on the board here in the 7th as DeHart delivers with a big base hit. And that'll bring up Redmond.
Boy, how big are those 3 runs in the top of the inning?
Oh, boy.
Because now you've got nobody out, runners at second and third, and if it's only 4-1, that's a huge difference than being 7-1.
So now you're at the number 3 hitter. Redmond now due is see if he can continue this 1-out rally in the 7th inning. The stretch by Arnold, the pitch on the way nearly hits him.
He got hit by a pitch his last at bat.
Yes, he did.
Could we see the pitching change we just discussed a few minutes ago?
Well, there's a right-hander throwing and a visit to the mound.
That would be Braden Offenbacher in the Transy bullpen from Pequea High School, Pequea, Ohio. 6-foot sophomore.
Earlham now leads Manchester in the softball tournament 4-3. They're in the, that's a final. Does that say final?
Does it say 9 innings?
Oh, in 9 innings.
Wow.
4-3. Well, a short meeting is over, and now we're ready to go back to work with runners at second and third. Did they give DeHart the double, or was it an error in the left fielder, Hedinger?
Well, I see there's an error in the Transy.
So they must have given
the scorebook
Hedinger an error.
It must have.
So just a single by DeHart, and then an error by the left fielder Hedinger.
I haven't completely lost it. I marked a single in my book. So.
Me too. 3 runs across in the top of the 7th, a run across here in the bottom of the inning, and that pitch low and outside. 2-1. Redmond was caught in that run down in the 6th inning, the second base running error by Franklin. Strike and the throw to third not in time.
Another play right there.
Yeah.
You know, that cost you a run. Was he running on contact? I don't know if that was the signal, but the play wasn't even close.
Arnold in trouble here in the 7th. Can he pitch out of it? That breaking pitch is high, ball 4. Bases are loaded. And I believe that's going to be it for Arnold. They'll go to the bullpen. We'll tell you about the new pitcher for Transylvania coming up here on IndianaSRN.
Hi, my name is Dr. Ruth Myers. I'm the Director of Nursing at Bluffton University. My background is I've been a registered nurse for 19 years. I started my career in oncology, caring for cancer patients, and the most recent 11 years of my career, I've been an advanced practice nurse as a family nurse practitioner in family medicine or internal medicine. Nursing is a great field, lots of opportunity for career growth. You'll have job security, but most of all, you'll have a meaningful career centered on taking care of patients and their families. Bluffton is a great fit for nursing. Here in our accredited program, we train our students to excel in building relationships and also in mentorship. Additionally, learning and serving in a close-knit community is very important to our students here, and we really instill the value of helping each other improve the health of our community and our world. So our students get hands-on experience all 4 years in our nursing program, whether it be clinical observation in that first year, or in subsequent years going out into the community setting where students get to apply what they've learned in the classroom, applying that didactic material in a clinical setting in the surrounding community, which is extremely valuable in providing a baseline broad knowledge about nursing, setting them up for success in their career as nurses in the future. I'd love to chat with you more. You can arrange for a campus visit, and I look forward to meeting you soon. Thank you.
We are back here in Kokomo, and a brand new pitcher, the third pitcher used now by Transylvania.
Number 39, Braden Offenbacher, 0-1 on the season with a 5.40 ERA, 15 appearances, 15 innings pitched, 17 strikeouts, 10 walks, opponents hitting .241 against him.
Well, he's going to have to do some nice work against Andrew Wallace. You mentioned him coming out of the bullpen. He's a right-hander. You have a left-handed hitter, and Wallace, an interesting decision.
Yes, it is. But, again, 15 appearances and 15 innings. He's a one-inning guy because you see more pitches being thrown in the bullpen for Transy.
Now Offenbacher set to throw, and the first pitch is low and outside for a ball. Gervin at third, DeHart at second, Redmond at first, and the Transy fans not happy with that first call by the home plate umpire.
Wallace 1 for 3.
Popped it up, shallow left. Hedinger coming on and near the line will make the catch, and the runners will have to stay put. That's a big out.
That's a huge out.
So 2 away, and here's Ian Knuckles.
Just got into his kitchen, and Wallace couldn't do much with it except try and fight it off, and just popped it up.
Knuckles 1 for 3. He doubled in the 6th inning.
You feel like on a normal day, Hedinger may have been playing deeper, and that could have been trouble.
Yeah.
Because the shortstop wasn't going to get to that.
Breaking pitch hit foul. Good cut by Knuckles. Well, and again, with the way the ball has not been carrying in the last few days, these outfielders feel pretty confident to stay in relatively close or normal depth.
And if you're an outfielder that goes back better than you can come in, you're going to play really sharp.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. A lot of fans thought that might have been a balk as he started to make a move and then stopped. None of you saw that. You saw Offenbacher now. There's some question on that move, but there was no call by any of the umpires here. So
so I'm not sure what Getsy's wanting to find out. You can't retroactively call a balk.
No,
don't believe.
Can't put that on the thing and hold it for later, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I could see how Coach Marshall might be upset with that, but I'm not really sure what Coach Getsy was looking for there.
I'm not sure either. 1 ball, 1 strike to Knuckles. 1 run across here for Franklin in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the 1-1 pitch. This could be trouble. Going out is Mitchum, and diving and unable to make the catch is McElfresh. 2 runs will score, and we have an injured player. I think Mitchum is down.
Boy, he made an incredible effort to try and get to that ball and just missed it.
So Gervin scores for the first time. DeHart will score. 3 runs across now for Franklin. I'll go back to what you said a little bit ago. How big are those runs in the last half inning?
Absolutely monster.
Well, I watched Mitchum dive, and I don't know if he hurt his shoulder, but he was not in good shape when he went down and took a roll. And you talked about it earlier when we were mentioning about the head-first slides, and you can really mess up your shoulder, and it was a great effort just to try to get to it. We're going to take another look at it right here. That's actually the right fielder, McElfresh, not Mitchum.
Yeah, it looked like he landed awkward on his left shoulder.
Yeah.
He's kind of got tripped up a little bit, and then his body kind of turned, it looked like.
Well, what we can do is we will send Keith Myers down there and see if we can get an injury update.
Or they could just put Keith in. He's used to playing right field. Only problem is with the turf, there's no dandelions out there.
No, he can't. No rocks. Looks like McElfresh is.
It's good to see.
Going to be okay, but again, he took a scary dive, kind of working on that right shoulder, as you mentioned. Well, I'll tell you what, a nice little half inning here, you might say, for Franklin, but still have some work to do, but it looks a little bit better than it did moments ago.
Much better.
Here's Willman. Franklin just finally getting that goose egg off the board now. Here's Willman to step in. He's been on base all 3 times. Runner takes off at first, swing and a miss. And now the throw to third, tag laid on, and the safe. But, boy, that's a dangerous, dangerous maneuver down at third base.
Yeah, it is. You cannot get caught hung out to dry there on third on that throw. You've got to imagine, too, that Will Butts warming up in the Franklin bullpen is going to be in for the top of the 8th for Franklin.
Swing and a miss. I can imagine Redmond down at third. He hesitates, and you know that ball's coming. What's the feeling trying to get back to the base?
Well, I mean, getting thrown out at home once already today.
Here's the stretch and the 0-2 pitch. Oh, my.
To me, it's not whether or not you call that a strike. It's if you're Willman, how do you have the guts to take that pitch?
He's got more guts than I do.
Yeah.
So Willman back in with the count of 1-2. The pitch on the way, and did he go around? No. Almost the same location as the last pitch.
Yep, which is a smart idea. You know, if you're Offenbacher, it was so close, maybe he'd offer it at this time, and he almost did. But, boy, a base knock here could make things incredibly interesting.
The 2-2 pitch on the way, got him with a breaking ball. Tell you what, Dreyer was out ready to throw to somebody, but there's nobody to throw to. But 3 runs are crossed. We head to the 8th at 7-3.
Skylar is a senior biochemistry major from right here in Richmond, Indiana. More than half of Earlham's student body studies away from campus at least once in their Earlham education. But many travel to multiple different cities or countries like Costa Rica and England as part of their Earlham education. Skylar, give us all the details. Take it away.
Thanks, Alex. Hey, everyone. It's great to be here today. Growing up in Richmond, Indiana, I never thought that I'd attend a college that I passed by every day without second thought. When it finally came time to choose a college, I chose Earlham College because of the great academic opportunities they had here, as well as I got to continue playing the sport I love, volleyball. Although Earlham College was right in my hometown, it took on a whole new meaning when I enrolled. Earlham has helped me experience new things like studying abroad in London. My time in London has been one of the highlights of my time at Earlham. I never thought studying abroad, especially in London, was possible because I thought it'd be so expensive. But with Earlham's guidance, it ended up being the same price as if I was studying on campus. I got to immerse myself in different cultures, learn in a totally different environment, and grow as an individual. I also participated in Epic for Athletes, where I got to travel to Costa Rica with my volleyball team, totally free of charge. The resources at
Here you take a look at goalie out in right field and a new pitcher now for Franklin. Tell us a bit about the new right-hander.
Number 11, Will Butts. He's a fifth-year senior from Yorktown, Indiana. 4.19 ERA, 4-1 on the season, 24 appearances, no starts, 26 strikeouts, 7 walks, and hitters 288.
Michael Fred, who shaken up a little bit in that last half inning. We'll take that pitch low and outside for a ball. McElfresh 0 for 3 today. Franklin able to get 3 runs back, but they still trail it 7-3. That pitch missing inside.
Bud's asking the home plate umpire, was that up or was that in?
I said both. Here's the 2-0. Looking for a strike. Ramsey had 4 runs in the first, and he scored 3 more in the 7th. By the way, Earlham beat Manchester in softball 4-3. It went 9 innings. There's the strike. The Earlham softball team stays alive, and they're in the losers bracket, but a long way to go for them as well.
Looks like Gabe Dillon warming up in the bullpen for Transy.
2-2 pitch. Soft up the middle. The shortstop DeHart charging and throwing and got him by a step.
That is a nice play. It wasn't hit hard.
No. And it's a good thing it was on turf, otherwise the grass would have really slowed that thing down. Here's Ethan Dillon. Dillon 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Butts back and ready to go to work, and this one lifted high in the air. Deering, a few steps back, will make the catch. That ball is actually the first one that really carried to center field.
The center field, yeah, that had some juice to it. Billman had the one to left field that was pretty well hit. Flag's really not doing much of anything, but still, it's just no carry at all in the outfield here.
Boy, you'd think it was a hot, humid day. You know, the air would be heavy, but it's not.
You would think.
Sure, Torrey.
I still got goosebumps on my goosebumps.
There's a called strike.
Used to coming up here and wearing shorts, so I was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's not a usual day of May the 9th. Hit foul. No balls and 2 strikes now to Shiratori. He's been on base 3 of 4 times. This one hit up the middle. There's DeHart again on the second base side of the bag and able to make the throw. And a 1-2-3 inning for Franklin. We head to the bottom half of inning number 8 at 7-3.
Chose Franklin because of the location, the community that I felt from when I visited, and I was also given the opportunity to play on the tennis team here. I've been able to complete 2 internships. I was able to go to Arizona and study under a physical therapist there, and I was able to gain a lot of hands-on healthcare experience. So through that, I felt well prepared when applying to graduate schools. I found my future at Franklin College.
New pitcher on the mound for Transy, Gabe Dillard, a 5th-year senior from Old Hickory, Tennessee. He is 3-0 on the year, 4.0 ERA, 19 appearances, no starts, 27 innings, 32 strikeouts, 7 walks, but hitters are hitting .318 against him, and he has the task of trying to stem the tide here that Franklin has gotten last inning.
By the way, I want to thank our friends at Hampton Inn and Suites here in Kokomo. Excellent place to stay if you're in the Kokomo area. Enjoy free hot breakfast. I had omelets today, French toast, sausage, as well as more orange juice than I've ever drank in my life. It was great. Standard Wi-Fi is free with every stay. Book a room today, 765-205-3194. All right, here we go. As you mentioned, brand new pitcher, and now it'll be Billman here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Winner will advance. The loser heads home. There's a strike. Saw that Franklin offense come alive in the last half inning. There's a big cut and a miss. Question now is, can they match it here in the 8th? They're down to their final 6 outs. The 0-2 pitch hit hard up the middle. Shiratori has that one eat him up a little bit. Tried to stay down on it. I don't think it took a bounce on him, but that'll be an error on Shiratori.
Well, that was also just an absolute rocket off the bat of Billman.
That'll bring up goalie, the right fielder.
Yeah, the Mount St. Joseph team down to our left getting a little bit of sunshine.
I may be joining them.
Whereas Rose-Hulman, they're kind of chilling in the shade over down the right field area.
Right now, my tan is not doing me any good. I need to get out there and then soak up some of that vitamin.
When have you ever tanned in your life?
Squaring to bunt. He did offer. Goalie now sees the count go to 1-1 strike.
Why would you bunt there?
Maybe he's just showing, trying to throw off the pitcher, Dillard. The stretch and the pitch inside. Billman a short lead down at first. Now will take a couple of extra steps. I doubt he's much of a stolen base threat here. And a cut and a miss. So Gooley will see the count go to 2 strikes.
Got to wonder maybe if Coach Marshall is going to start Billman here with 2 strikes.
This one hit into center field. Dillon to his left. There's one away as Billman back to first. And that'll bring up now the number 9 hitter, Deering. Deering 0 for 2 with a walk, a run scored, part of that 3-run 7th inning. Franklin playing in their 41st game of the season. That pitch is outside, none more important than the one right here. They would love to get back and play tonight at 7:45.
Billman is 7 of 8 in stolen base attempts on the season.
1-0 pitch inside. Two balls and no strikes to Deering.
Time is definitely running short.
It is. Both the starters in this game long gone. So now the bullpen trying to do the work. And now 3-0. And we'll see Dreyer go out and talk with Dillard. Well, we know rallies are possible because we have seen them already. None bigger than the Manchester game when they knocked off Mount St. Joseph 6-5 by scoring those 4 runs in the bottom of the 10th inning. It was crazy.
That is crazy. And it's also crazy to think, 4-run lead here for Transy, yet they've put more guys on the bump than Franklin has, which goes to show you how well Harmon pitched for them in those middle innings. Just that last little hiccup, giving up those 3 runs.
So after that short meeting, 3 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch on the way, and he comes in with a breaking ball that crosses the plate for the first strike. Ball 4 up on the board, but it's actually 3 balls and 1 strike. Popped up in the infield. Shiratori making sure he squeezes this one for 2 away.
That was definitely in Deering's kitchen, and he just could not fight that off.
So we go to the top of the order, and here's the hottest hitter on either side. That is Josh Gervin, 4 for 4. A couple of runs, actually 1 run scored, but he has 4 stolen bases. He may sue his team for lack of support. Huh? Pitch outside.
Or he may put them all on the side of a milk carton and be like, have you seen? Very few people probably even get that reference anymore.
Yeah, what's a milk carton?
Yeah, it's true.
Hit foul. Yeah, you keep bringing up the good old days. These young people don't understand. Those were the good old days.
Oh, I've been listening to Reggie Miller on a podcast recently, just talking about all the stories and growing up in a military family, and I'm like, the good old days.
1-1 pitch outside. I teased my wife about going back just to 3 channels on TV.
4, because you had PBS too.
Well, I didn't watch PBS.
No. You didn't?
No.
Oh, come on.
Too educational.
Bob Ross, man.
Oh, I'd watch him once in a while. There's a swing and a miss.
And then we were stunned when they introduced Fox. We're like, we've got 5 channels now?
What?
What is going on?
Back then it was black and white. I mean, TV wasn't very big either.
And you had to get up out of your seat to change the channel.
Yeah, it's terrible. 2-2 pitch, low and outside. Yeah, change the antenna. You had to do a little tuning thing once in a while.
Being the kid. No, stand right there. Don't move. Like, how am I supposed to watch it, Dad?
You're not.
Yeah. No.
3 balls and 2 strikes.
Oh, wait, it's just Little House on the Prairie. Okay, I'll just stay here. That's fine.
Ground ball right side. Mitchum, slow roller. The pitcher coming over, and the catch is made by Dillard. And he gets the out at first. And some words exchanged between Dillard and Gervin.
I think the first base coach thinks he didn't have control of the baseball, or he missed the bag, one of the two. And yeah, then there was some chirping because Dillard spiked the ball.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get him.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Your poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew.
Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh Maine lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles,
She's fine. She's fine.
Your waffles, milady.
it matters where you stay.
Yum.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
We are going to have a much closer look on this play.
I'm not sure. I mean, his foot was on the bag, but I don't think it was on the bag when he caught it.
We get another angle here.
Because there's his foot. But
Yeah, he was off.
Man. And then he spikes it. Wow, no. Man alive.
That's close. Now just think, as an umpire, you have to make that call
At real speed.
at real speed. That's tough. 9th inning, it'll be Tedesco, Mitchum, and Taylor. Take another look.
But at the same time, I don't think there's...
Yeah, he may have been on the bag right there. That
The
left
glove?
foot. Well, I thought
I
the foot.
I thought his foot was off it when the ball got in his glove.
All I know is I'm glad I didn't have to make that call.
I think if there was replay, there would not be enough evidence to overturn it.
I like that. Tedesco scored a couple of runs. He's walked twice. He's singled back in the second, and he is struck out.
The resident umpire's coming in.
Did he give you a verdict?
Well, he did. He's going to stand up for umpires every time, so I don't blame him.
There's a strike. Well, listen, let's be honest. They're not perfect. They're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
And that's a tough play all around because, the ball's one spot, his foot's in their spot, the runner's there.
That one's hit well into left field, but Knuckles coming on, sliding catch, and he holds on for the out. Well, and that's unusual. What you saw at first base, you don't see that often.
No, and the hard part is, from one angle, it looks like, I mean, on both angles, it looks like his foot is off the bag when he catches it, but one angle, it looks like he doesn't touch it till he comes around, and Gervin's there, and then another angle, it looks like he gets it with his glove.
Mitchum down the line. That'll be 2, maybe more. Mitchum on his way to second as Knuckles quickly back to the infield, and a one-out double by Mitchum, his second double in his third hit of the day.
He's been stroking the ball, which is probably why he's hitting cleanup.
Exactly. Here's Taylor.
When he got those hips out quick and just turned on that bad boy and pulled it right down the left field line.
So Taylor steps to the plate. He was part of that 3-run 7th inning that has made a huge difference here for Transylvania. That pitch a called strike. Taylor is 1 for 4 and a run scored. Now's a chance to get another insurance run on the board for Transy here in the top of the 9th inning. That's hit well into left field. Knuckles is not going to get to this one. That's going to score the run. Back-to-back doubles, and Transy gets a run back. They lead it 8-3.
State Farm run there.
Boy, I tell you what, that's the second double by Taylor. He has driven in 3.
And that's definitely the longest ball hit to left field today. I thought I was going to get up and out. Once it bounced, I thought it was going to be a ground rule double.
Hedinger will step to the plate. He has a base hit way back in the first inning. The throw down to second is not in time. Hedinger back in. Butts ready to go. There is a right-hander throwing in the bullpen. In fact, 2 right-handers throwing now for Franklin, and they're working that bullpen catcher. Look, they got him going back and forth. They don't have 2 bullpen
That's
catchers.
Awesome.
He should get double pay. The 0-1 pitch is low.
So he and his sibling can both go to school? Is that kind of how that works?
Yeah.
Oh, there's the other one.
It's nice of him to show up, right?
Yeah.
2 balls, no strikes.
Well, there's a movement in the Transy bullpen, too.
That pitch outside, 3-0. So now Butts is struggling here in the 7th. He got the first out, but then back-to-back doubles, Mitchum and Taylor. Tough situation here, though, at 3-0, and he does throw a strike.
It was Armstrong in the bullpen for Transy. He might be their closer.
Here's your 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball, hit in the air into shallow center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Rounding third is Taylor. They'll hold him there, though the fielder did fall down. And now runners at first and third. Third straight hit now for the Pioneers. And here's Houston Manning.
Boy, that was, definitely off the fist, and you couldn't have placed it out there any better.
We will have a pinch runner down at first base as McAtee will come in. Camden.
6'1" junior from Fort Thomas, Kentucky.
He did some pinch running yesterday as well.
Are we going to get a pitching change here?
The slow walk. That bullpen just got up moments ago.
Yeah, and he can't signal righty because they're both righties, so they got to know which one he wants.
We are in the top of the 9th inning of this elimination game. Each team now in double digits in hits. Transy is even being able to overcome a couple of errors. But Franklin has had their opportunities. I'll look back at this one and think about all the players they left in scoring position.
Yeah, it's still that goes back to the top of the first with Manuel and not being able to find the strike zone.
Yeah, it was tough. Well, that meeting was a little bit longer than perhaps expected, but the home plate umpire goes out to break it up. In fact, we had both coaches out talking to their players, and so here we go now. Is Manning 1 for 4. Picked up an RBI in the 7th inning. Trying to surprise McAtee down at first.
Manning looked like he could put a charge into one. 6'3".
Yeah, big fella. Shows bunt. First base side. Coming on, the first baseman tries to flip it with a glove, and Wallace can't get to it in time, and a run will score. And Manning gets another run driven in, and now runners at first and second.
That's such a tough play. He just couldn't get it out of his glove.
Yeah, not only was he able to get to the baseball, but he's on the run and then had to almost make a perfect throw to the catcher, Billman, from his glove. Wilson will take over at first base for Manning. So a second straight pinch runner. So here's Dreher. 0 for 3 with a walk. That was way back in the first inning. He'll show bunt as well, and the pitch is high and outside. I can tell you now, we will not be starting the next game at 1:15. Butts coming off and throwing to second.
Yeah, and some people may be wondering, well, why is he bunting with a 6-run lead in the 9th? And I have a 4-word answer.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah. There you go.
Never take your foot off the gas. Now, if it's 15-0, that's a different story.
Yeah. That's a strike.
You saw last night in the Manchester game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Still just one away. Been another long half inning, but 2 runs across. And that's going to be fouled off. I think at that point, Dreher tried to pull his bat back, but the pitch was too far inside. So now it's 1-2. McAtee down at second, Wilson at first, and the bunt attempt, he got him. 2 away. Now, I'm not sure about that one. I've never been a big believer of trying to lay down a bunt, even at that situation. You might as well swing away.
Yeah, and not even making contact with it.
Yeah. So this will bring up the number 9 hitter, McElfresh. 0 for 4 today. A step in, line this one into center field. That's going to be a base hit. Hedinger will round third. He will score. And Transylvania adds another run on the board here in the 9th.
First pitch swinging. Not wasting any time.
Second time that Transylvania's been able to put 3+ runs in an inning. 3 separate occasions, and I think that's going to be it for Butts. So, Franklin goes to their bullpen. They trail it by 7.
April 3rd, 1974. Just before 4 p.m., a violent tornado ripped through a significant portion of the Hanover College campus. The storm was part of the famed super outbreak, which included nearly 150 confirmed tornadoes in 13 U.S. states and Canada, during an 18-hour period. The outbreak, one of the most violent in recorded history, covered more than 2,600 miles, killed 330 people, injured more than 6,000 people, and left thousands homeless. In Jefferson County, Indiana, 2 F4 tornadoes killed 11 and left more than 300 with injuries. The college suffered $10 million in damage, more than $62 million in today's dollars, including 30 campus buildings and much of the lush forests and trees on campus. Despite the harsh impact of the disaster, a unique educational opportunity arose. Professor Emeritus of Biology Paul McMillan and Jonathan Bailey, class of 75, along with help from HE students, staff, and faculty, developed a method to study the regrowth of the trees in Happy Valley, a heavily wooded area on the eastern side of campus. The purpose of the study was to document the extent of forest destruction of the valley, to determine the immediate post-tornado condition of the woods, and to initiate a long-term study to document the forest recovery. The original roots of McMillan and Bailey's study began in the 1960s during a series of class projects. Happy Valley, then dominated with sugar maple and buckeye, was ultimately decimated by the 1974 storm. The information gathered in the years leading up to the storm was essential as a baseline for the post-tornado study. McMillan and Bailey's post-tornado analysis showed a loss of about 1/3 of all the trees and a change to a sugar maple, white ash, and white oak community. In the months following the tornado, more than 850 trees and 1,600 shrubs were planted on campus to replenish some of what was lost in the storm. Happy Valley, however, was left untouched as an opportunity for the ecology study to continue. McMillan guided the study for more than 25 years until his 2001 retirement. Since that time, the research has continued under Darren Rubino, professor of biology. Now, as devastating as the tornado was, I think we might have made some lemonade from this, in that we've offered students lots of opportunities for some great research projects, very high quality research, and also able to go out and sort of interact with the natural world. Our campus is beautiful with tons of forests. We can talk about how different parts of the forest are of different ages.
We head to the top of the order, but we have a brand new pitcher.
Michael Carter, number 39, 15.12 ERA, 9 appearances, 8.1 innings, 14 walks, 9 strikeouts. Hitters hitting well off of him. He is a 6'3" sophomore from Perry Meridian High School in Indianapolis.
There you go. Well, he falls behind at 1-0. Still runners at first and second. A 3-run top of the 9th inning now for Transylvania. They now have a 7-run cushion. The stretch by Carter, the pitch. Low and away. You mentioned Butts a little bit ago, a fifth-year student. It looks like if they don't rally and come back, you mentioned that's the end of his career, huh?
Yeah.
Unless he tries to do something else in baseball.
And that's, a tough pill to swallow anyway.
Yeah.
Losing and your career being over, but also having it end by giving up 3 runs.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough pill for him to swallow, but I'm sure his support around him, friends and family, will help him with that.
3-0 pitch by Carter and got the outside corner. Mount St. Joe rolls Holman after this game. It'll be 45 minutes after the end of game number 1 today. 2 away, and that's fouled off the end of the bat.
Heads up in the on-deck circle.
Carter gets a new baseball after that one hit the concrete. So 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Was that going to scuff the ball up?
Oh, I think that's terrible to get new baseballs all the time.
Yeah.
Runners take off, hit down the line, foul.
Almost got the bullpen catcher. Shoot, back in the day, if it's scuffed up, pitcher's like, no, I'm keeping this one.
That's right, I like this one.
I want to keep this one.
Got a nice little grip on crowd now for Franklin. They haven't had a whole lot to cheer about here in the 9th inning. Runners get the takeoff again. To Hopper to Wallace. He'll step on the base. Damage already done. 3 runs across. We head to the bottom of the 9th, leading by 7.
My professional learning community class traveled to Timbercrest, which is a senior living community, and we talked to retired teachers that are actually Manchester University alum.
We had the opportunity to interview Bud Tully, who is a former teacher from here in the community who worked in Manchester schools and in Wabash schools.
One of the things that I took away from the conversation with him was to always try to have fun in your classrooms.
And it really put it into perspective about different ways we can interact with our students as we go into this profession and what ways we can make learning fun.
The person I interviewed said that when you're a teacher, always be prepared for everything. Over-preparing is better than under-preparing. He also said, don't be afraid because you can't change everything. You can at least change one thing, and that's enough.
An interesting thing that my interviewee talked about was that she was married when she got here, and she came in as a 41-year-old college student. She originally went to Puerto Rico to teach, and then her and her husband came back here to finish their degrees. She said that it was truly her calling ever since she was like 3 years old.
Some advice that I thought was kind of interesting. He talked a lot about being there and presence with the kids, getting to know them, being more of a friend and a mentor as well.
Just seeing how he lit up when he talked to...
You take a look at the Grizzlies dugout as they're down to their final 3 outs. It'll be DeHart, Redmond, and Wallace all due up. If they don't rally, their season comes to an end. DeHart, 1 for 3, does have a run scored in that 7th inning. As Dillard back in for another inning of work, and the first pitch is a called strike.
You know, very young team from Franklin. We're looking really quick. You know, just a few seniors, maybe 5, and a couple we haven't even seen. Andrew Wallace pitched. Outside of that, Matthew Johnson. Yeah, maybe 5 or 6 seniors. Will Butts, the 5th-year senior, but very, very young team.
Yeah, there are a couple of teams in this conference that are relatively young. Check swing. Count goes to 1-2. Well, this, like most seasons, does stretch on. These guys have been inside when the weather was cold.
Mm-hmm.
They've been working a long time to get here as that pitch is low and away. It's been several months. It's hard to watch a season come to an end. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and the...
You know, you form a brotherhood, so to speak, you know, with the guys on your squad, in your clubhouse every day. And, I mean, they're going to keep playing, whether it's summer, college ball, wood bat leagues, whatever, but it's not the same as those guys in that dugout all as one team.
Fly ball into right center field as Dillon squeezes that one. There's one away. Here's Redmond. Redmond's been on base 3 times, though still looking for his first hit. Officially 0 for 1.
And in today's day and age of college athletics, you know, there's more than likely transfer portal people in the dugout now.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
it changes so much, which honestly is kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. Well, you mentioned that brotherhood. I don't know that you have that. This has popped up foul. I don't know that you have that if you're transferring every 2 years or some of them every 4 years. I always feel like it's kind of a selfish move to do that because it's all about you then, to me anyway.
Right. I can understand it if a kid, you know, from either one of these schools has said, you know, oh, hey, I got a chance. I got a Kentucky or an IU calling me, wanting to come play. That's a different story.
That's a different story, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're going to get a lot more eyeballs on you in terms of the next level from there.
Pitch in there for a called strike.
Well, I mentioned earlier, listening to Reggie Miller on a podcast, he said, we didn't have any of this. Oh, I don't like what the coach is doing. Your parents were like, figure it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so
that one's lined into left field. Henninger is there, makes the catch, 2 away. And I'm sure there's a lot of factors.
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of factors.
So we're down to the last out here for Franklin as Andrew Wallace will step to the plate.
We promise we're not old guys saying get off our lawn. We're just trying to give perspective.
Well, I am. Don't get on my lawn. I work hard on that. So now 2 away, and the pitch is outside for a ball.
I would like to, normally it would be get off my lawn, but I try and tell my sons get on my lawn because they're the ones taking care of it now. Now that I'm, they're old enough, it's like get out there and take care of it.
How's that working for you?
Not well.
Okay. The 1-1 pitch hits him. So the half inning will stay alive as Wallace will head down to first base. Here's Knuckles. Knuckles, couple of base hits. If I'm Andrew Wallace, if I were a senior, I'm stealing. What I've got to lose at this point, huh?
That is true.
Dillard's pitch is way outside.
Wallace is a senior. That is true.
Come on, Andrew, just do it.
I wonder how many he has on the year.
The 1-0 pitch. There's a called strike.
Ooh, I don't know. He's 6 of 6. That 100% could go up in smoke,
Oh, yep, the lucky.
You don't want to burn
7.
that.
You got to do 7. Come on, Andrew. Now's your chance. And not even holding you on. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. And now you're down to your final strike. Game is now 2 hours and 48 minutes. Dillard trying to get one more and end this contest. Chop foul. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wallace is not going to give me a stolen base here. The pitch got him looking. Good finish there for Dillard as Knuckles will watch the season end. It was a tough day for the Grizzlies. Missed opportunities early and then just unable to hold on to it late. And they lose it by a final of 10-3 as Franklin ends their season at 21-20. And for Transylvania, they go to 21-20. And more importantly, Sean, they move on to the losers bracket game tonight at 7:45.
It goes back to the old adage from March Madness, survive and advance.
Yep.
So they were able to do that, and now they can live to play another day, and they will take on the winner of game number 2 coming up here in a little bit between Mount St. Joseph and Rose-Hulman.
By the way, those 10 runs, the most scored of anybody so far in the tournament by Transylvania. So they will make their plans for tonight. Again, that's around 7:45. But don't go away. We're coming back in 45 minutes. Mount St. Joseph and Rose-Hulman right here on Indiana SRN.